A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. Yes, let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. And that's because LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that gives you smoothness and mildness. And no wonder, for years, Lucky Strike has maintained America's largest and most complete cigarette research laboratory. Prior to the auctions, the buyers for Lucky Strike send sample tobacco leaves from all tobacco-growing areas to this great laboratory for scientific analysis to help determine which tobaccos are really fine. And this is only one phase of the constant research that helps guarantee smoothness and mildness in every single Lucky Strike you smoke. So, smoke a Lucky. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. Make your next carton Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go out to Jack Benny's home in Beverly Hills, where, even as you and I, Rochester is filling out his income tax.
Let's see. Name, Rochester Van Jones. Occupation, butler, chauffeur, cook, gardener, valet, masseur, window washer, and composer of Time on My Hands. Now, let's see. Exemptions. If married and your wife or husband had no income, or if this is a joint return of husband and wife, list wife or husband. I better read that again. If married and your wife or husband had no income, or if this is a joint return of husband and wife, list wife or husband. Yeah, that's what it says. That's what the form says. Uncle Sam says that. Well, fortunately, I'm single and have no wife or husband. Now, let's see. Enter your total wage.
Oh, hello, Rochester. What are you doing?
I'm filling out my income tax, Mr. Benny. It certainly is complicated.
Well, I'll help you with it if you like.
I sure would.
All right, now let's see the form. Rochester, you got to put down your salary.
Can I write it in red ink?
Why?
I want them to know I'm blushing.
Never mind. Now, for the next item, list any extra monies you received as gratuities, gifts, or bonuses from your employer.
Oh, boss, come now.
Well, let's see what you did about your deductions. For every close relative you support, you can deduct $600.
Well, let's see. There's my mother.
Oh, Rochester, I didn't know you supported your mother.
Oh, yes, that sweet little old lady I take for a drive every Saturday night.
Your mother? Rochester, I happen to know that every Saturday night you take my car and go up on Mulholland Drive.
M is for the million.
Rochester! Now, don't give me that stuff about your mother. Last Saturday night I followed you. I distinctly heard you mention Lena Horne.
I said, Mother, don't lean on the horn.
Oh, sure. Now, let's see the rest of this. Oh, for heaven's sake. Rochester, you can't list Tan Ferran as a dependent. And what's this item you show as income?
Oh, that was the night Mr. Harris hired me as bartender. Man, was I busy.
Why? Who was there?
Just Mr. Harris.
Oh.
By the way, boss, you went to the preview of Mr. Harris's picture last night, didn't you?
Yes. It's called Wabash Avenue.
How was it?
Very good, Rochester. And Mr. Harris was excellent in it. Say, I ought to call him and tell him how much I enjoyed it. I meant to do that yesterday. I forgot all about it after I saw the pictures.
Hello, Mr. Harris's residence.
Huh? Who's this?
Alice.
Alice?
Yeah, Alice Quigley, Mr. Harris's new secretary.
Oh. Say, is it a little confusing having two Alices in the same house?
No, he calls his wife Blondie.
Ah. What does he call you?
Dagwood.
Oh. Well, can I speak to Mr. Harris, please?
I guess so. Who's calling?
Oh, this is Jack Benny.
Oh, just a minute. Hey, Curly, the wild goose is on the phone.
Okay, I'll take it in this room. Hiya, Jackson. What's on your mind?
Well, Phil, I called to tell you how much I enjoyed your new picture, Wabash Avenue. I mean, not only did your photograph swell, but you were great in it. You gave the part everything it needed. Really, Phil, you were magnificent.
I know.
Phil, why must you be so conceited?
It's not conceit, Jackson. You said I was good. I know I was good, so there's no sense me being immoral about it.
You must mean immodest. But, Phil, the scene that impressed me most was the one where you were so upset about losing the girl that you went out and got drunk. Gee, you did that swell.
Yeah, even Mr. Zanuck said that scene was worthy of an Academy Award.
Well, it was. Did you have to do much work on it?
What work? I came in one morning, I was loaded, they shot the scene, and the star was born.
Oh, fine. Anyway, Phil, you were really great in it. So was Betty Grable. And you got some rather tough competition from Victor Mature.
Oh, Jackson, that Mature ain't so hot. Why, last year Paramount offered me $200,000 to play his part in Samson and Delilah.
Phil, they offered you $200,000 to play Samson? Why didn't you do it?
And have these tresses cut off? Are you mad?
Well, I don't blame you, Phil. Having you this way is bad enough, but bald-headed would be revolting. You and Sammy the drummer would look like a lovely bunch of coconuts. Believe me.
I can see your point, yeah.
Oh, Mr. Harris.
What is it, Daggy?
Your valet said your bath is ready.
Oh, I'll be right there.
Hey, wait a minute, Phil. How come all of a sudden you not only have a secretary, but a valet, too?
Look, Dad, you're talking to a movie star.
Well, I'm glad you finished that. For a minute, I thought you were going to give milk. Goodbye, Phil.
So long, Jackson.
Gee, I hope Phil's head doesn't swell too much. He can hardly get out of the house now. Well, Rochester, how are you getting along with your tax?
Pretty good, boss. Would you like to look it over?
Yes, let's see. Wait a minute, Rochester, what's this item here for medical expense?
Last year I had one of my tonsils taken out.
Rochester, you only had one of your tonsils taken out?
Boss, when you give me 20 minutes off, you mean 20 minutes.
Rochester, you mean to say you ran out in the middle of an operation?
Don't you remember when I came through the door, I still had a rubber glove in my mouth?
A rubber glove?
The doctor was in it till I crossed Wilshire Boulevard.
Oh, stop with that. Uncle Sam wants money, not jokes. Now, let's see what else you... I'll get it. Oh, hello, Dennis.
I came to say goodbye. I'm joining the Foreign Legion.
Dennis, look at me. You're joining the Foreign Legion?
Uh-huh.
The French Foreign Legion?
Oui, El Capitan.
El Capitan? That's Mon Capitan.
I'm going by train.
Dennis, I want to ask you one thing. Does your mother know you're leaving home to join the Foreign Legion?
Oh, she was the one who suggested it.
Why?
Well, last week I played a joke on her.
On your mother? What'd you do?
I put itching powder in her girdle.
Well, that's an awful thing to do. Your mother should slap your face.
She can't. She's using both hands to scratch with. Boy, is she sorry now if she bites her fingernails.
Dennis, look.
Well, I gotta leave now. I gotta join my regiment.
Stop with that silly talk. You're not joining the Foreign Legion.
I'm not?
No. And come inside. Now, Dennis, forget about the Foreign Legion. You can't go now anyway. We got a program to do Sunday. What song are you going to sing on it?
Well, since it's so close to St. Patrick's Day, maybe I ought to sing Clancy Lowered the Boom.
Well, we just have a lot of people in our house. Well, I won't see it. Well, I won't see it till it's time for the broadcast. So let me hear it now.
Yes, sir.
Foreign Legion. Go ahead and sing.
Okay, hold my sword.
Your sword? Hey, look at that. Say, that sword is over 3 feet long. Where'd you get it?
In a box of Cracker Jack.
What?
It stuck out a little.
Dennis, sing, will you?
Clancy was a peaceful man, if you know what I mean. Now the cops picked up the pieces after Clancy left the scene. He never looked for trouble, that's a fact you can assume. Oh, nevertheless, when trouble would press, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. O'Leary was a fighting man, they all knew he was tough. He strutted round the neighborhood, shooting off his guff. He picked a fight with Clancy, then and there he sealed his doom. Before you could shout, O'Leary, look out! Clancy lowered the boom! Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. Now Clancy left the barber shop with tonic on his hair. He walked into the pool room and he met O'Reilly there. O'Reilly said, for goodness sakes, now do I smell perfume? Before you could stack your cue in the rack, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got to the Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. The neighbors all turned out for Kate O'Grady's wedding night. McDougal said, let's have some fun. I think I'll start a fight. He wrecked the hall, then kissed the bride, then pulverized the groom. Then quick as a wink, before you could think, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got to the Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, the Clancy! Oh, the Clancy! Whenever they got to the Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom, 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 boom. Sure, it was the greatest sight you ever did see when Clancy lowered the boom.
Dennis, that was very good, and just the right number before St. Patrick's Day.
Give me back my sword.
Here, and don't cut yourself. Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
My name is Joan. The girls in my high school class are having a scavenger hunt.
Uh-huh.
And I was selected to come over here and get something personal from you.
Something personal?
Very personal.
Oh. Oh, I bet I know what you have to get. A lock of my hair.
I'm supposed to get the whole thing.
Well, Joan, step in for a minute. I'll go into my room and get you one. Excuse me, man. I'll be right back.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Joan. I'm a junior at Chadwick High School.
My name is Dennis. I'm a private in the Foreign Legion. I leave to join my regiment tonight.
Gee, you mean you're going all the way out to the desert?
Uh-huh.
Way over to North Africa?
I thought it was in Palm Springs.
Say, wait a minute. I know who you are. You're Dennis Day, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Gosh, wait till I tell the rest of the girls in my class I met Dennis Day. They think you're a wonderful singer.
They do?
Yeah, they think you're almost as good as Vic Damone.
Well, here you are, young lady.
Gee, thanks, Mr. Benny. And when the scavenger hunt is over, I'll return it.
Oh, you needn't bother.
Just hang loose. It'll come home.
Yeah. Well, goodbye, Joan.
Goodbye.
She was a pretty girl, wasn't she, Dennis? Dennis? He left with her.
Say, boss, I finished making out my income tax. I'm ready to send to the government. Have you got a 3-cent stamp?
Rochester, you've already got a 3-cent stamp on the envelope.
I have to put one in the envelope. That's my tax.
Well, I don't know if you're allowed... Oh, look what time it is. I better turn on the radio. I don't want to miss it today.
Boss, what's on the radio that's so important?
I want to listen to that program. You know, they're going to announce the winner of the contest.
Is that the contest that you've been sending all those soap wrappers to?
Yep, that's the one. It's sponsored by the Sagebrush Soap Company. Gosh, I hope they like the slogan I sent in. Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage. That ought to win it. Rochester, turn on the radio.
Boss, that program doesn't come on for 5 minutes yet.
I know, but I don't want to take any chance of missing it, you know. Boy, could I use a trip to Honolulu or 2 weeks in Havana. Turn on the radio.
I can see no matter how near you'll be, you'll never be wrong to me, but I can dream, can I adore you,
Now for our next contestant.
That's not the station I want, brother. Maybe this is it.
Oh, Paul. Paul, listen to me. You've only been married to her for such a short time. Please don't leave her.
I must leave her.
But she's my only daughter, my only child. Please, Paul, say you won't leave her. Please don't leave her.
I must leave her.
Paul, I beg you, I implore you, don't leave her. Say you won't leave her. Say it, Paul. Say you won't leave her.
This program is sponsored by the Lever Brothers.
Oh, that isn't the station either.
And now we bring you our genial master of ceremonies, the man with the sagebrush complexion, Frank Nelson.
That's it, Rochester. That's the program that has the contest.
How do you do? Once again, we bring you that thrilling program sponsored by the Sagebrush Soap Company, makers of Sagebrush, the only soap with a Western motif.
I know. Get to the contest.
And why does Sagebrush soap have a Western motif? For your convenience. When you're bathing, Sagebrush doesn't slip and slide all over the place, thanks to that Western motif. Sagebrush is the only soap that's shaped like a gun. In the morning, all you have to do is take off your pajamas, strap on your holster, and step into the shower.
Come on, announce the winner.
Yes, with Sagebrush, the soap that's shaped like a gun. There's no rub or scrub. You shoot yourself clean. So remember our slogan, use Sagebrush soap and smell like a cowboy.
The slogan I sent in is better than that.
And now we come to the announcement you've all been waiting for. The slogan that was judged the winner in our thrilling contest.
This is it, Roger.
This slogan that was selected from over 12 entries. And here it is. Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage.
Gee, that's the lousiest slogan I've...
Yikes! What's the matter, boy?
That lousy slogan is mine. Gosh.
Ladies and gentlemen, that winning slogan was sent in by Mr. Jack Benny of 360 North Camden Drive, Beverly Hills. We're glad to know that our soap is getting into that part of the city.
Never mind the talk. What's the prize?
Boss, do you think you'll get a trip to Honolulu?
I don't know. Havana isn't bad either.
Yes, Mr. Benny, for sending in that slogan to the Sagebrush Soap Company, you have won yourself a trip.
Pack my bags, Rochester.
Yes, sir, a magnificent trip.
Shall I pack a ukulele?
Not yet. It might be Havana.
Ah, Mr. Benny, you're a lucky man. You have won yourself 6 glorious weeks at that romantic spot of song and story.
Yes.
That Shangri-La whose shores are lapped by the languid waters of the blue Pacific, Pismo Beach.
Pismo Beach? What happened to Honolulu?
And now, in honor of our contest winner, Mr. Jack Benny, who sent in our new slogan, "Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the sage," our quartet, Proctor, Gamble, Palmolive, and Pete, will wish our contest winner bon voyage. Take it, boys.
By the sea, by the sea, by the beautiful sea, Pismo Beach, oh, how happy you'll be. When each wave comes a-rolling in, you will duck or swim.
And you'll float and fool around the water.
Over and under and then up for air. Just use one dab of glue and you won't lose your hair. You'll have a lot of fun a-shooting clams with your soap gun at Pismo by the beautiful sea. Lucky strike, you will smoke them all day. And for smoothness and mildness, you'll say they're okay. Round and firm and fully packed, made of pint of back.
Yes, it's LS.
NFT, by the beautiful sea. Take a puff, and we know you'll agree. You'll find there's no rough puff or puff at Pismo by the beautiful sea.
With our new prize-winning slogan. Take it, boys.
Now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the stage.
Imagine me winning a trip just to Pismo Beach. It's only 200 miles from here.
Shall I pack your tuxedo, boys?
Rochester, I don't have to dress formal to dig clams. Anyway, I'm not going.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dreer Pooson speaking to you from Washington. My first prediction is that the federal budget will soon be balanced. This feat will be accomplished as soon as we collect the income tax from Bob Hope.
He's not kidding. The money Bob's making at the Paramount New York will do it. Shut off the radio, Rochester. Well, I think that I'll get it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Well, Mr. Kitson.
Mr. Benny, I just called you up to congratulate you.
Congratulate me?
Yeah, I was sitting here at home listening to the radio when all of a sudden they're announcing you the winner on a contest.
Oh, that.
What a slogan. Now is the hour to take a shower while Mrs. Bloom is on the stage.
No, Mr. Kitzel, that's Bloom is on the stage.
Oh, I thought it was his wife. Mr. Benny, are you lucky? My, what I wouldn't give to spend 6 glorious weeks in Pismo Beach.
Well, Mr. Kitzel, Pismo Beach is a lovely place, but I can go there anytime. It's close by. I don't have to win it. Anyway, I'm not going.
But a vacation would do you good, Mr. Benny. You've been working too hard.
Well, I know.
Every Sunday a radio program and 5 nights a week on television.
Me? On television?
I never miss it. Time for Benny.
No, that's Beanie. Time for Beanie. See that? Look, Mr. Kitzel, they're puppets.
Ooh, puppets, muppets. I still think a vacation is good for everybody, and that's why I'm going to Sun Valley this week.
Oh, you're going up Sun Valley?
Yes, I'm going up to do some skiing.
Well, you better be careful, Mr. Kitzel. You know, Ali Khan broke his leg while skiing. Now he's confined to his home for 6 months.
So what? When you're married to Rita Hayworth, where do you want to go?
I never thought of that. Well, it was nice of you to call, Mr. Kitzel. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Benny. Shoot a clam for me.
I told you I'm not going. Goodbye. Oh, Rochester.
Yes, boss?
Look, I'm kind of tired. I think I'll go upstairs and go to bed early tonight. I have rehearsal tomorrow, and I don't... For heaven's sake, what's that? Take it easy. I'm coming.
Are you Benny?
Yes?
Jack Benny?
Yes, yes.
Good. The car's at the curb, the motor's running. Let's go.
Yeah, come on, the motor's running.
What are you fellas talking about?
We're from the Sagebrush Soap Company.
Yeah, we came to take you to Pismo Beach.
Wait a minute.
You won the contest.
What a slogan.
And now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the stage.
Look, fellas,
Come
look.
on, Benny. Get your clam shovel. We'll be on our way.
I'm not getting any clam shovel. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
Go to bed. Are you trying to insult the Sagebrush Soap Company?
Yeah, you didn't win no ordinary prize like a trip to Honolulu.
Or the Havana.
You won a trip to Pismo Beach.
I know. They mentioned it on the radio.
What a slogan.
And now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the stage.
For heaven's sake, fellas. Now,
Come
look.
on, Benny. The motor's running.
Let go of my arm.
Come on.
Stop pulling me. Do you hear? Stop. I'm not going to go.
You're going to spend 6 glorious weeks at Pismo Beach if we have to drag you there.
Now, let go of me.
Grab him, Joe.
I got him.
Fellas, please.
What a slogan.
And now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom
Now, look, this is ridiculous. Now, turn me loose or I'll sue your company. Now, get out of here. You hear? Get out. I said out. 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 Wow. The last time I ever enter a contest. Imagine those guys coming in here trying to force me.
Boss, I thought you'd gone.
Gone? No one's going to make... Rochester, where are you going with your suitcase?
Well, I figured while you were spending 6 glorious weeks at Pismo Beach, I'd go and have my other tonsil taken out.
Well, I'm not going. You can have that done tomorrow during your lunch hour.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme pleasure now to present the Vice President of the Columbia Broadcasting System, Mr. Howard Meagan.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on behalf of the Columbia Broadcasting System to offer our congratulations to Jack Benny for having won the greatest honor that has ever been bestowed on a radio artist. Radio Daily conducted a poll among all of the radio editors and columnists in the United States and Canada. And Jack Benny was selected as the greatest radio personality in the past 25 years.
Really? Gee, I'm only 39.
Well, seriously, Jack, CBS wants to add their congratulations to the many you've no doubt already received.
Well, thank you, Mr. Meagan, and I'm very grateful and very proud of this honor. I want to thank Radio Daily, who conducted the poll, and the radio editors and columnists of the United States and Canada. I'd like everyone to know that this tribute is equally shared with my cast, my writers, in fact, every member of my staff. And I also want to thank you listeners who have been so loyal through the years. Thanks very much.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first...
Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. And that's because LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that gives you smoothness and mildness with never a rough puff. Listen to what Mr. Tom Jones, an independent tobacco auctioneer from Mount Airy, North Carolina, recently said.
In 18 years of auctioneering at market after market, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine tobacco. Fine, ripe cigarette tobacco that makes a smooth, mild smoke. I've smoked Luckies for 15 years.
Millions of smokers, including the glamorous movie star Marlene Dietrich, take a tip from the experts and smoke Lucky Strike. Just recently, lovely Miss Dietrich said,
"Every Lucky Strike I've ever smoked has tasted mild and smooth to me. That's the big reason why I've smoked them for many years."
And for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, light up a Lucky. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. Get a carton today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about the 1950 Easter seal sale for crippled children. In these trying days when so much thought and money is being spent to destroy, what a wonderful thing it is to be able to give someone a chance to mend. The Easter Seal Company campaign, the Easter Seal campaign does just that by helping crippled children. So won't you please send what you can, as soon as you can, to Crippled Children, Post Office Box 5050, Chicago 80, Illinois. Oh, excuse me. Hello? Oh, hello, Mary. Yeah, I'm sorry you couldn't come over to my house today. We had such excitement. How's your Gesundheit? How's your Gesundheit? Mary, how's your Gesundheit? Gee, that was a long one. What? Well, I was going to ask you how your cold was, but never mind. What'd you say, Mary? Oh, you heard what Mr. Megan said? Well, thanks, Mary. I feel very happy about it. So long, Dow.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned to the Innocent Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike. Scientific tests prove Lucky Strike is milder than any other principal brand of cigarettes. Scientific tests prove Lucky Strike is milder than any other principal brand of cigarettes. That fact is verified by an independent consulting laboratory with more than 15 years' experience in cigarette research.
Based on our analytical findings, it is our opinion that Lucky Strike cigarettes are the mildest of the 6 major brands tested.
And no wonder Lucky Strike cigarettes have been proved milder. For years, Lucky Strike has conducted a unique and vast program in research, in quality controls, and manufacturing methods. And today, tomorrow, always. LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that gives you smoothness and mildness with never a rough puff. So light up a Lucky and prove to yourself what scientific tests prove. Lucky Strike is milder than any other principal brand of cigarettes. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, just 4 days from now, the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences will present their annual awards. And when the winners are announced, Jack Benny, being a man of high ideals and noble character, will be the first to say,
I was robbed.
And here he is, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, I'm glad you brought up the subject of the Academy Awards because...
Wait a minute, Jackson. Wait a minute. Temper. Just hold your hair up a minute. After all, where do you come off saying you was robbed?
Huh?
Well, the winners haven't even been announced yet.
I know.
And you haven't made a picture for 5 years.
I know.
You've only got one show, too.
Dennis, go sit down.
Oui, mon capitaine.
You can stop with that, too. Phil, when I said I was robbed, I was referring to last year. That's when they did the casting for the picture All the King's Men, and the director asked me if I'd like to compete for the lead. So I even went down to the studio.
Well, don't feel bad about not getting the part, Jack. After all, Broderick Crawford is a wonderful actor.
Broderick? Holy smoke, I thought it was Joan, and I wore my Charlie's Aunt costume. How do you like that?
Well, Jack, weren't you embarrassed going out to the studio dressed up like Charlie's aunt?
Not at first, Don, but coming home on the streetcar, my bustle crept up, and I looked like the hunchback of Notre Dame. Anyway, that was my one chance to win an Academy Award.
Well, don't take it too seriously, Jackson. Winning an award isn't important as long as you're doing the right thing. That's all that matters.
What do you mean?
Well, take the picture I just made, Wabash Avenue. Let Victor Mature and Betty Grable win the awards. I'm happy knowing that I was Aqueduct in the part.
Well, we're back to Francis, the mule.
Oh, I want to tell you something, Jackson. Seriously, those producers were smart to think of me.
Phil, casting you was a natural. When they thought of making the picture, they thought of Chicago for the locale. When they thought of Chicago, they thought of Wabash Avenue. When they thought of an avenue, they thought of a street. When they thought of a street, they thought of a gutter. And any 3-year-old could take it from there. So, Phil, as far as the perfect casting is concerned, don't take...
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. Just hold it a minute. You've got it all wrong. That part had nothing to do with drinking. They needed someone who could play the part of a nightclub owner, a gambler, a great lover.
A great lover, huh? Well, Phil, let me ask you something. If you're such a great lover, how come at the end of the picture, Victor Mature marries Betty Grable?
Because Alice made him change the finish. Alice? She ain't sharing me with nobody, even in the land of make-believe.
Phil, you're the hammiest guy I ever met.
Oui, mon capitaine.
I'm glad you agree. Now, kids...
Hello, Jack. How you fellas?
Well, Mary, welcome back.
Hiya, Liv. Good to see you again.
We sure missed you, Mary.
Well, thanks, fellas. And, Jack, next time I have a cold, don't send your doctor to take care of me.
Why not? He's an excellent physician.
Yeah, but boy, is he nearsighted.
The doctor?
When he came into the house, I thought I'd save a little time. So I stuck out my tongue and he hung his hat on it.
No kidding. Is he that nearsighted?
Worse than that.
Yeah?
He went to listen to my chest, put a stethoscope against the radiator, and said, "Stop hissing me. I'm here to help you."
Had a little trouble with stethoscope.
Yes,
Next time we do the joke, we'll make it needle. But anyway, Mary, I can tell by the twinkle in your eye that never happened.
Oui, mon Capitan.
I thought so. Well, anyway, you're back on the program. That's all that matters.
Hey, Livo, how'd you happen to catch that cold in the first place?
Well, one night I went out riding with Jack, and his car has no windshield.
No windshield? Well, how come Jack didn't catch cold, too?
He sits on the floor and drives by periscope.
Drive by periscope. Stop making things up. Now, come on, Dennis. Let's have your song.
No.
What?
I don't want to sing yet. I've only had 3 laughs up to now.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Dennis. Who counts their laughs?
Phil does.
Phil counts his laughs?
As soon as he gets 5, he runs over to NBC.
Dennis, you yourself said I've only got one show. Let me keep it, will you? Now go ahead and sing.
Well, how about my other 2 laughs?
Never mind. Sing.
Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is having you and music, music, music. I do anything for you, anything you want me to. All I want is kissing you and music, music, music. Closer, my dear, come closer. The nicest part of any melody is when you're dancing close to me. Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. All I want is loving you and music, music, music.
Music, sung by Dennis. And very good.
He says once.
Oui, mon capitaine. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned before, it is only a few more days to the presentation of the Academy Awards. The leading male nominees for their outstanding performances are Broderick Crawford for All the King's Men, Richard Todd for The Hasty Heart, Gregory Peck for 12 O'Clock High, John Wayne for The Sands of Iwo Jima, and Jack Benny for his outstanding performance in The Champion. So tonight, we are going to...
Jack, what are you talking about?
Huh?
Kirk Douglas is up for the award.
Well,
he was the star of
that's
the
a stethoscope. I'll bet you $1,000 Douglas is easier to say than stethoscope. What'd you say, Dal?
I said Kirk Douglas is up for the award. He was the star of The Champion.
Mary, that was for the picture. I'm talking about my radio performance. I did The Champion on the radio a year ago.
Well, who's going to give an award for that?
I don't know, Mary. I got one last week. Let's take a chance. So tonight we're going to offer our new version of The Champion, in which... Excuse me. Hello?
Hello, champ. This is Rochester.
Hello, Rochester. What do you want?
I finished packing your bags for your trip to Palm Springs.
Oh, good. I want to leave right after the program tonight. You sure you got everything?
Yes, sir. I packed your riding habit,
Uh-huh.
your tennis racket,
Uh-huh.
your golf clubs, and a pick and shovel.
A pick and shovel?
You know how you are when you lose a ball.
Rochester, I may lose a ball once in a while, but I don't dig holes on a golf course.
I don't know. Last year they followed you around planting palm trees.
All right. Now, Roger, I'll spend a lot of time in the sun, so you better pack my yellow shorts.
You better not take the yellow ones, because they're full of moth holes.
My yellow shorts? Oh, well, then pack my blue ones.
They're not back from the cleaners.
Oh. Well, in that case, pack my black ones.
You sold those to Gorgeous Gussie.
Oh, yes. Well, I'll buy some at the Springs.
By the way, boss, in case anyone wants to get in touch with you, where will you be staying?
At the beautiful Flamingo Hotel.
But, Mr. Benny, the Flamingo Hotel isn't in Palm Springs. It's in Las Vegas.
I know, but now when I do go to Las Vegas, I can stay there. Now, Rochester, did you take care of everything else?
I even packed your violin.
What?
You know, it's pretty crowded in Palm Springs.
What's my violin got to do with it?
Well, if you walk into a hotel and there's no vacancy, you can make one.
Rochester, did you think of that all by yourself?
Oui, mon capitaine.
I thought so. Well, goodbye.
So long, champ.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we're going to present our new version.
Jack.
Our new... Yes, John?
I think we ought to get to the commercial in now before we do the play.
Oh, yes, I'm glad you reminded me. What has the Sportsman Quartet prepared?
Well, they have a wonderful number, Jack, and they're dedicating it to you.
To me?
Yes, you see, Jack, there's such excitement about the Academy Awards that they feel terrible that you stop making pictures.
No.
Yes. They think that a star of your magnitude should project his personality in every possible medium.
Well, and so they're dedicating this number to me?
Yes. Take it, boys.
You ought to be in pictures. You're beautiful to see.
Me?
You ought to be in pictures, for you're as cute as can be.
Gee.
You're handsomer than Gable. You're sexier than Flynn.
No.
Your legs are just like Grable's. Please tell us, Jack, where you've been. Your eyes are as soft and blue as the waters of Lake Louise. Your hair is a work of art, but please don't lose it in the breeze. You're funnier than Popeye.
I am?
You'd fill up every house. You ought to be in pictures like Mickey Mouse. You ought to make take a picture with LSMFT. They're now in television. They're dancing so gracefully. They never seem to worry. They're never out of step. They learn from Arthur Murray. That's why they're hep, full of pep. They're so round, so firm, so fully packed. There's not a puff that's rough. We smoked them for nigh on 20 years. They are the ones we love.
Love?
They ought to win an Oscar for smoking that is grand. So keep on buying Lucky, your favorite brand.
Very good, boy. Don, that was really wonderful. And now for our play. Take it, Don.
Ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we present our new version of that thrilling, dramatic story of the prize ring entitled The Champion. Curtain music.
My name is Midge Benny. I'm the middleweight champion of the world. People say I'm a heel. They say I'd slug my own grandmother. But they're wrong. Grandma's a heavyweight. My struggle to the championship was a tough one. It started 2 years ago. I was trudging along a dusty Kansas road hitchhiking with my best friend, Bubbles.
You tired, Bubbles?
Pretty much, Midge.
Well, we'll be in Los Angeles in a few days. And here's a great place. There's a lot of smog there.
Smog? What's that?
That's fog with a garlic breath. Anyway, it won't be long now. As soon as we get there. Hey, Bubbles, look out. Here comes a car.
Hello, boys. Do you want a lift?
The car stopped in front of us. It was the latest model, driven by a beautiful girl with a convertible top. I could tell by the dark part in her blonde hair that she had just converted it. There was a man sitting next to her. As Bubbles and I started to get into the car, she said,
Hop into the back seat, boys.
Thanks a lot.
How far are you boys going?
All the way to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles, eh? I got an aunt who lives in a suburb of Los Angeles.
Glendale?
No, Tehachapi.
By the way, miss, your boyfriend doesn't seem very talkative.
He talks with his fists. He's Slugger Brown, the middleweight champ of the world.
Yeah.
We can only take you boys as far as Omaha. Slugger's fighting there tonight.
Yeah. Are you really Slugger Brown?
Yeah.
And you're the middleweight champ?
Yeah.
And you're fighting tonight in Omaha?
Yeah.
36 years later, we arrived in Omaha. During the ride, I found out a lot about Slugger and his girlfriend, Flamingo. Her name used to be Mary, but she wanted a free week there, too. I watched the fight that night and saw Slugger Brown collect $30,000. It was then I, Midge Benny, decided to become a prize fighter. Bubbles and I hitchhiked to Los Angeles. I went to see the foremost fight manager in town. I stripped myself to the waist. He looked at my chest and said,
That reminds me, I'm having spare ribs for dinner.
Now, don't be funny, Mr. McNulty. I may not look so good now, see, but you give me 2 or 3 months of training and I'll be a champion someday. A champion, do you hear?
Now, wait a minute, me boy. Fighting is a tough game. I used to be a fighter myself.
You?
Right you are, me boy. I'll never forget me last fight. It was with Killer Nelson. I was afraid of him, but they made me go in the ring and fight.
They did, eh?
And that they did. First we were fighting in the center of the ring, and then up against the ropes. Then he kept after me, and finally caught me in the wrong corner and knocked me out.
What corner was that?
Pico and Sepulveda.
Pico and Sepulveda?
The fight was held in New Orleans.
Now, who else did you fight?
Well, the most exciting fight I ever had was the one with Joe Louis.
You? You fought Joe Louis?
Ah, he murdered me.
Well, why did you fight him?
I won the chance on a quiz program.
That?
And 8 glorious weeks in the Cedars of Lebanon Hospital.
Well, look, Mr. McNulty, that don't discourage me. I want to be a fighter. Will you handle me?
All right, me bucko, I'll be your manager. Now go over to the gym and let me trainer, Punchy McNeil, get you into condition.
The next morning, I went over to the gym. It was a large, gloomy place smelling of liniment. Here, in this edifice of concrete and steel, men dedicated their lives to the inhuman pursuit of mangling and maiming. It was here that the beast in man overrode all human qualities, and one man would try to pummel another's countenance beyond recognition for the sake of monetary reward.
The preceding speech was written by William Paley, Jr.
He not only made me hire his son, but I had to give him credit yet. I looked around the gym trying to find Punchy McNeil. Finally, I asked a man leaning against the ring.
Excuse me, mister, but I'm looking for Punchy McNeil.
Ah, that's me.
Well, I'm Midge Benny.
I'm pleased to know you.
Now, look, Punchy, I'm trying to be a fighter, and Mr. McNulty wants you to train me.
Okay, but you ought to think it over. Fighting is a tough racket. I should know this, as I used to be a fighter myself.
No.
Yeah, I had my first fight back in 1932.
Gosh.
Yeah, I spent 12 years in the ring.
12 years?
Yeah, but I finally came to, got up, and went home.
Well, look, Punchy,
Wait a minute, I didn't finish my story.
Oh, there's more?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, well, tell me, Punchy, were you always a fighter?
Oh, no, I used to be a musician with Guy Lombardo's band.
Go on, you were never with Lombardo.
Oh, yes, I was.
On that last sniff, he vacuumed the handkerchief right out of my vest pocket.
Oh, come on, Mitch, let's start training.
2 weeks later, I won my first fight. A full week later, my second. Then my third, fourth, and fifth, until I had won 28 fights. In 2 short years, I was matched to fight the champ, Slugger Brown. I was in my dressing room with my manager when the door opened.
Hello, Midge. How you doing?
It was her again. She was wearing a sweatshirt that had Flamingo Hotel written on it. This was overdoing it. I walked over to her and said,
Hello, baby. What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were going to fight the champ, and I wanted to see if you're ready for the main event.
Well, sure I'm ready.
Well, if you want to, you can kiss me for luck.
Okay, here.
Still a preliminary, boy.
Oh, yeah? Now, look, baby. Let's have a date tonight after I knock out the champ.
I've got news for you, Midge. You're not knocking out anybody. You're throwing the fight.
Are you kidding?
If you don't believe me, here's your manager. Ask him.
McNulty, are you crazy? Would I fight for 2 years in Tank Towns for this? Would I spend 2 years getting my brains knocked out just so I could take a dive? Would I work my way up to the title bout just to throw the fight? Would I?
Why don't you turn the page and find out?
What?
Oh, why don't you turn the page and find out?
I turned the page, and there it was. I was to take a dive in the 5th round. William Paley Jr. double-crossed me. I wasn't going to do it. I'd worked and fought to be champion, and tonight I was going to fight to win.
Introducing at 159 pounds, the middleweight champion of the world, Slugger Brown. The Slugger is wearing purple trunks. And now for his worthy challenger, weighing 155 pounds, Midge Benny. Midge is wearing black shorts.
They were too big for Gussie.
And now for your sports announcer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the radio audience. The men are in the center of the ring receiving their instructions. They go back to their corners waiting for the bell. And there it is, round one. Slugger comes out of his corner and starts mixing furiously. Midge meets him like a wildcat with a right and a left.
And now for a few words from our sponsor, the Sagebrush Soap Company. Look clean, feel clean, be clean. And remember our slogan, now is the hour to take a shower while the bloom is on the stage. Now back to the fight. Well, that was an exciting round.
Slugger's nose is still bleeding and Midge's eye is tightly closed. Now we're waiting for the bell for the second round. There's the bell. The boys come out and circle each other. They're still circling each other.
We circled each other 3 times. Then my opponent leaned over to me and said,
Hey, Bud. Bud.
Who, me?
Yeah. Come here a minute.
What is it?
What round are you going to take the dive in?
The 5th. What?
Make it the 3rd.
The 3rd? Why?
My feet are killing me.
Now, look, Slugger, I'm not throwing this fight. I'm in here to win, so start mixing it. Do you understand?
Oui, mon capitaine.
Okay, put up your dukes.
Ooh! The champ lands a terrific right cross, and Midge Benny is down.
Yes, I was down.
The referee is counting over him. What did he The
referee was a tobacco auctioneer. As I lay there, beaten and dazed, my whole career flashed in front of me. How it started 2 years ago, when I was trudging along a dusty Kansas road, hitchhiking with my best friend, Bubbles.
You tired, Bubbles?
Pretty much, Midge.
Hey, Bubbles, look out. Here comes a car.
Hello, boys. You want a lift?
Oh, no. We're not going through that again. Come on, Bubbles.
Jack, we'll be back in a moment, but first...
Scientific tests prove Lucky Strike is milder than any other principal brand of cigarettes. Scientific tests prove Lucky Strike is milder than any other principal brand of cigarettes. That fact is verified by an independent consulting laboratory with more than 15 years' experience in cigarette research. The report from the consulting laboratory stated,
based on our analytical findings, it is our opinion that Lucky Strike cigarettes are the mildest of the 6 major brands tested.
LSMFT. LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco that the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy. Just listen to the words of Mr. B.V. Bowen, an independent tobacco buyer from Timmonsville, South Carolina. Recently, he said,
I've been in the tobacco business for 40 years, and year after year, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine, light, ripe tobacco that makes a smooth, mild smoke. I've smoked Lucky's for 22 years.
So, smoke a Lucky. You'll prove to yourself what scientific tests prove. Lucky Strike is milder than any other principal brand of cigarettes. Let your own taste and throat be the judge. For smoothness and mildness, there's never a rough puff in a Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week at the same time, our program will be coming to you from Palm Springs, and our guest will be Bob Hope. So be sure and... Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Here's a telegram for you.
Right here, boy. Here's a tip.
Geez, thanks. Now I can spend the rest of my life working.
Who's the wire from, Jack?
Let's see. Oh, it's from Bob Hope. Now, isn't this clever?
Well, what does he say?
Dear Jack, happy to be on your program next week in Palm Springs, but I must warn you. As soon as I get 5 laughs, I'm going out and play golf. See, everybody counts. Good night, folks.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and the Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned for the Amos Sanders Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, here to welcome you for all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have chosen to make the word Rexall part of our own store name. We've done that because we believe in the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. And we've put the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows to let you know we recommend and sell them. Bismarex is a good example of the quality of these products. This famous Rexall antacid often brings relief from acid indigestion within 5 minutes, neutralizing excess acidity and leaving a soothing, protective covering on irritated stomach membranes. Quality like that of Bismarex is what we family druggists are talking about when we tell you you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. For the past few weeks, Alice has been shopping for a new car, but can't seem to make up her mind. She's forced Phil to go with her, and so far they've been to every automobile agency in town at least once. Phil's nerves are on edge from this ordeal, and today he's taken Frankie with him to keep from going completely crazy.
Alice, can't we stop? I'm tired. Me too, honey. You've been to every automobile agency in town at least 7 times, and you can't make up your mind what car you want.
I have made up my mind. I've narrowed it down to a definite choice.
Between what?
A Chevrolet, Nash, Pontiac, Ford, Plymouth, Buick, Oldsmobile, or Hudson.
You've left one out there.
Which one?
The Sunset Bus. Oh, Alice, we're tired.
Well, if you boys are tired, we'll just go to one more place.
Good. Well, what do you know? Here's the place. Yeah, let's get in, Remley, before it closes. Come on, let's hurry.
Get away from those swinging doors.
Hey, that's a novelty. An automobile agency with swinging doors. And a family entrance.
Get out of there. That's a cocktail bar.
No. So this is what they look like. Land sakes, I had no idea. This is a shocking revelation to me.
All right. Come on, here's the agency. Let's go in.
Oh, Alice, not the Hudson agency again. You've been in here 12 times looking at their car.
But I want to see it once more.
All right, I'll go in here, but I'll guarantee you, Alice, that this salesman ain't going to be glad to see you. You've been driving him crazy.
Oh, don't be silly. He'll be very happy to see me. Oh, there's my salesman now. Hello, Mr. Ring.
Well, how do you do, madam? Oh, no, not you again.
Oh, Mr. Ring, aren't you glad to see me?
Not particularly.
But I came in to buy a car.
Yes, I know. For 3 weeks you've been coming in to buy a car. First you like it, then you don't like it. Then you think maybe you'll take it, then you think maybe you won't take it.
Well, I've got a right to change my mind. That's a woman's prerogative.
Well, do me a favor. Take your old prerogative to a Chevrolet dealer and drive him nuts.
Now, just a minute, Mr. Ring. I won't have you talking to my wife that way just because she happens to be a pest.
Mr. Ring, you don't think I'm a pest, do you?
Yes, madam.
Frankie, do you think I'm
Yes, madam.
Phil,
Yes, madam.
Mr. Ring, you don't seem anxious to wait on me. Why?
Why? Sit down, Mrs. Harris. Once upon a time, I was a normal, calm, happily married man. And then you came into my life. For 18 intolerable days, you haunted me with your indecision. 12 times I thought I had a sale, only to be thwarted each time. My nerves started to go. I couldn't sleep. I started to bark at my family. Finally, my wife couldn't stand me any longer, so she left and took the children with her.
Oh, please, Mr. Ring, I didn't mean it.
I want my kids back.
Mr. Ring, please control yourself. You're making a scene. Phil, do something. Stop him.
You stop him, you old wrecker.
Oh, but because I didn't mean anything.
We all have to carry on like this.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ring, and I'm going to make it up to you. I'll buy a car.
You will? Honest? Oh, that makes me so happy. No, I'm not going to let myself get sucked in again.
No, this time I mean it. You see that red convertible with the white wall tires? I'll take it.
You will?
Yes, if you have it in green and a coupe with black tires.
If I wasn't such a coward, I'd kill myself.
Well, it's a beautiful car, but I can't use red.
Why not?
I have nothing to wear with it. You men ask the silliest questions.
If we painted the car green and put black tires on, would you take it?
No, I can't drive a convertible. It would blow my hair all over.
We'll fix that, too. We'll shave your head. You can drive it bald.
Alice, will you do me a favor and take it? It's a slick-looking job, and you can keep the top up.
Well, it is very sporty looking.
Well, not only that, madam, this car has a high-compression engine, Supermatic drive, a low center of gravity, and a monobuild body and frame.
Not kidding.
In addition to that, the engine
Hold
has
it,
a very
Axel.
high...
Hold it. That's no way to sell a car to a woman. Let me show you how it's done. Madam, look at the technical aspects of this car. It has an oversized glove compartment large enough to hold more junk than any pocketbook made. It also has an automatic female signal. Now, when you make a right turn, the light flashes to the left. And last but not least, it has a full-length mirror so you can adjust your hat, seams, and girdle at the same time.
Sounds very practical. I'll take it.
Did you hear that, Mr. Riggs? She said she's going to take it. I made the sale.
Not so fast. I changed my mind.
Oh, no. What's the matter, Alice? What's the matter now?
Well, the canvas top doesn't look very sturdy to me.
Madam, I assure you it's very sturdy. A man could stand on that top.
Prove it. Phil, get up on the top and see if it'll hold you.
What for? How often do I ride on top of a car? Alice, please take it and let's get out of here.
Well, all right, if you say so, I'll take it. Mr. Ring, here's the check for the down payment.
You mean you're really going to take it?
Well,
Give me that check. Here are the keys. Take the car.
Now, remember, I'm taking it on approval. If there's the least little thing wrong with it, I'm returning it. All right, fellas, get in the car and we'll drive home.
Ooh. I have never seen anybody make so much fuss over buying their first car.
I'll bet you were just as bad when you bought your first horse and buggy.
I don't go back that far.
You don't, huh? Dearie, do you remember when we waltzed to a Sousa band? My, wasn't the music grand? Chowder parties down by the seashore every 4th of July. Test your memory, my dearie. Do you remember watching John L. win every fight? 'Cause nobody ducks from Sullivan's right.
Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by.
Do you remember? If you remember, well, dearie, you're much older than I. Dearie, do you remember how they loved Harry Lauder's act?
Mine wasn't the Palace Pack.
Jenny Lind, presented by Barnum, sang her sweet lullaby.
Test your memory, my dearie. Chicago all in flames sure caused a terrific row.
They painted on Mrs. O'Leary's cow.
Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by.
Do you remember? If you remember, well, dearie, you're much older than I. Dearie, do you remember Man o' War winning every race? He ran at a record pace.
Rin Tin Tin in serial chapters always rescued the guy.
Test your memory, my dearie. Do you recall when Babe Ruth pitched for the Boston team?
He sure had a curve that was loaded with steam. Dearie, life was cheery in the good old days gone by.
Do you remember?
Yes.
If you remember, well, dearie, you're much older than I.
To the tip
That you're much older than I.
Oh. Gee, Curly, it's good to get home and just sit down. Things we had to go through just to get your wife a car. What's the matter with women, anyway?
Frankie, I think I've found the answer. After many years of studying the question from all angles, I have come to the definite conclusion that women are different from men.
Gad, you're a deep thinker.
Well, I know one thing. Now that Alice has got her car, I won't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah, not unless she finds something wrong with it and makes you take it back.
Frankie, don't say that. Don't even think that.
Gee, Daddy, we just saw Mommy's new car. It's beautiful.
Yes, it's a honey. Mommy's outside looking at it now.
Uh-oh. She's probably out there looking for flaws.
I don't think so. She said she was just going to glance at it.
Well, I don't see her out there, kids. Where is she?
Under the car with the magnifying glass.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Well, come on, Remley. We got to get her away from that car before she finds something. Come on. Alice! Alice, get out from under the car! What are you doing under there, anyway?
It's a good thing I did look under there. This car has got to go back.
What now?
There are grease stains on the axle.
Oh, how distressing.
Well, I refuse to run around in a car in that condition.
I don't blame her, Curly. When she runs over somebody, you wouldn't want them lying there thinking Alice Faye has a greasy axle.
Alice Madman Faye. The axle's supposed to have grease. It's for lubrication.
Look, there's nothing wrong with this car. It's absolutely perfect. There isn't a single flaw in it.
Except for the scratch on the fender pad.
Quiet!
What did she say?
She wants you to put a patch on her underpants.
I thought she said something else.
So did I.
Alice, look, you'd better go in and take a shower. Look at you. You're all full of grease.
All right. And as soon as I get dressed, I'm going to take the whole family for a ride in my new car.
Ooh, boy, that was a close one, kid. Wait a minute. I better rub this little mark off of the fender. There. Now, there's nothing wrong with this car.
Yes, there is. The windshield wiper is stuck. I'll go in and tell Mommy.
Come back here. Stay where you are.
Lie down, roll over, play dead.
Yes. Look, girls, run along and play and don't say anything to your mother about this. Now, go ahead. Oh, Remley, the first time Alice turns on the windshield wiper and finds out it's stuck, she'll make me take the car back.
Not if it's working.
But it isn't working.
We can fix it.
Yeah. We're pretty handy at fixing things.
We haven't failed yet.
No.
A windshield wiper is easy to fix.
It is?
Yeah. Open the hood.
Francis, I've got news for you. The windshield wiper's on the windshield. Why do we have to open the hood?
Because the wires that make the wiper run must come from the motor. And besides, it's more fun that way.
Yes, of course, yes. Righto, Francis. I'll open the hood.
Yeah, this will be a cinch. If there's one thing I know, it's automobiles. Oh, look at that engine, Curly. This is a twin diesel with a reverse flush.
So I see. And notice that it's powered by a turbine propeller shaft drawn to an inside straight.
Curly, do you know what you're talking about?
Do you?
No. But for me, it sounds cute. Now, there's the wire from the windshield wiper. See, it leads into the crankshaft. Well, in order to get at it, we'll have to take out the distributor.
What's a distributor?
Let's take out the differential.
What's the differential?
That's what I say. What's the differential? Yeah, look. As soon as we get this thing out, I can reach the wire.
All right. Anything's better than returning the car. But you better hurry before Alice comes out.
This will only take a minute. Here. No. Still can't reach the wire. Well, I guess I'll have to take out these two parts, too.
Remley, do you have to hammer in rhythm?
You want to get into your song, I do.
Oh, thanks. That's a plan, he's got a beatin' it, the rhythm's got a lot of heatin' it. I bet you 5, 10 to 5, it's gonna get you doing what it's doing to me. The Dixieland comes oozing out of it, the Dixielanders sure proud of it. They call it jazz, to beat jazz, and that's a plenty for me. Well, it takes you down to New Orleans, down Basin Street with all the queens. You don't have to have the means, a little bit of rhythm and you're going right with them. Well, shut my big brown rolling eyes if you don't rock it to the skies. Hey, boy, say, boy, that's a plenty for me. You're going to get mellow when that fella blows his horn down where the blues are born. You'll be gone. The trumpet's our trumpet going to do me something. Well, beat it out, brother. There's no other remedy. And that's a plenty, just oodles and plenty for me. Once you start, you want to stay in it every night. You're out cafeing it, swing your queen. What I mean, brother, you're as gone as any human can be. And when you're in the mood, there ain't no stopping it. Live it, breathe it, blow your top in it. That's the jazz, two-beat jazz, and that's the plenty for me. That's a plenty's got that beat in it. The rhythm's got a lot of heat in it. I bet you 5, 10 to 5. It's going to get you doing what it's doing to me. The Dixieland comes oozing out of it. The Dixielanders sure proud of it. They call it jazz, two-beat jazz, and that's a plenty for me. Well, it takes you down to New Orleans, down Basin Street with all the queens. You don't have to have no means. A little bit of rhythm and you're going right with them. Well, shut my big brown rolling eyes. You don't rock it to the sky. Hey, boy. Hey, boy. That's a plenty for me.
There. Well, Curly, I got the wire fixed. It was just a loose connection.
Yeah. The Wright brothers have scored again.
Yeah, you said it. Start the motor, Curly.
Okay. Wait till I gather it up from the lawn.
I forgot we took it all apart. Curly, you shouldn't have scattered the parts all over the lawn. Alice might see them.
No, she won't. I got them hidden in the bushes.
Well, we better start putting them together fast. Your wife ever finds
Hiya, fellas, I brought it. Hey, you've got a new car, ain't you? She's a beauty.
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah, it's got sleek lines, white wall tires, and... Wait a minute. Where's the motor?
In the bushes?
Someday I'll get an intelligent answer from you guys, and the shop will kill me. What do you mean it's in the bushes?
Well, this is Mrs. Harris's new car, and we don't want her to find the motor.
That's a smart idea for a woman driver.
Now, wait a minute. It's not that. Alice is a good driver.
Then why have you got the motor in the bushes?
Because there was something wrong with the windshield wiper, so we had to hide the motor.
There was something wrong with the windshield wiper, so they had to hide the motor. Fellas, do me a favor. Get in your flying saucer and get back where you came from.
Julius, what are you talking about?
You gotta be men from Mars. Human beings don't act this way.
Oh, beat it, kid. We took the motor apart, and now we're going to put it together again. Curly, hand me the transmission.
Roger. Let's see now. Transmission. Transmission.
Who are you kidding? You wouldn't know a transmission from a cigarette lighter.
Now I got you, kid. Because when we took the parts out, we labeled them. See, this is the transmission, and, this is the cigarette lighter. Which part goes where, Remley?
What difference, as long as we get them all in?
True.
These guys is natural-born morons. Without any spring training at all, they're batting 1,000.
All right, wait a minute, kid. I may not know everything, but I am not a complete moron.
Neither am I.
Why don't you consolidate? Between the two of you, I think you can make it.
All right. Listen to him, we'll never get it put back. Now, Frankie, if we don't know where the parts go, how are we going to put it together?
It's simple. Just a question of each part being connected to another part. For example, the transmission's connected to the crankcase. Crankcase is connected to the crankshaft.
The crankshaft connected to the spark plug. The spark plug connected to the piston.
The piston connected to the fan bell. The fan bell connected to the cylinder. The cylinder connected to the valve. The valve is connected to the gas tank. Shoot the motor to me, Francis, boy. Well, now that we've stung it together, let's start putting it together.
Yeah. Come on, kid, give us a hand with this transmission.
Yeah, help to slip this in, will you?
It goes down on the bottom. Lower it easy now.
Okay.
There we are. That's got to be bolted to the frame. There's not enough space for my arm. Hey, Julius, you're smaller. You reach in and bolt it.
Okay. Can't quite reach down that far.
Well, lean over a little further. We'll hold your legs, kid.
All right. Yeah, now I can reach it, but don't let go of me.
Oh, don't worry. We're not going to let go of you. Oh, here comes Alice. Alice, Remley, quick, drop everything. Close that door. Sit down. Quiet or I'll grind your little bowels. Now, look. Hey, Julius, can you hear me in there? Now, just stay in there and keep your trap shut, and I'll give you $5.
Just stay there till we get rid of Alice. It'll only take a couple of minutes.
Phil, we're all ready. Come on, girls, let's get in the car.
Wait a minute, Alice. Wait a minute. Now, don't... Alice.
Well, don't stand out there, Phil. You and Frankie get in the car with us.
Honey, it looks like rain. You wouldn't want to go out...
I'll get in. As soon as I get the key in, I'm going to start the motor.
Motor?
Motor? Oh. I'll take care of this, Curly. Alice, don't start the motor until I fix the hood. Hey, Julius, we'll give you $10 if you make like you're a motor.
All right.
Oh, listen to that starter. Sounds great, doesn't it?
Yeah, it starts nice and fast.
Starts a little too fast. I haven't pressed the button yet.
Self-starter. Now press it.
Well, what's wrong? I'm pressing it.
She's pressing it.
She's pressing it.
Oh.
Hey, listen. Oh, what a smooth motor.
Listen to it purr.
What's that?
Oh, honey, there's a cat under the car. But listen to that engine chug. I said chug, chug.
What's that awful noise?
We got a stupid motor.
For $10 a jet job?
Oh, honey, it was nothing. It was...
Sounded like it came from under
No.
the hood. Lift it up.
No, but Alice...
Lift it up.
Oh.
What's this? Chug, chug, chug. I am a little chug. I pull a big car. Chug, chug, chug.
Julius.
I told you we had a stupid motor.
Well, what's he doing in there? Where is the motor?
Oh, the motor. Yeah, the motor. Well, you see, honey, in this new style, they don't have the motor up front.
Where do they have it?
In the bushes.
Oh,
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But first, here's your Rexall family druggist.
Have you ever witnessed a race between life and death?
Golly, that sounds serious.
Well, ma'am, the race I'm talking about is serious because it's run to test the germ-killing power of Rexall's famous mouthwash, MI31.
Well, how's it done?
A culture of the bacteria, usually present in the mouth, is grown under carefully controlled laboratory conditions until it reaches an accepted standard of strength. Then, a very tiny measurement of full strength, MI31, is pitted against this thriving, rugged bacteria.
Oh, I see. And that's the beginning of the race.
Yes, and the end comes only seconds later. Because immediately afterward, the bacteria to which the MI31 was added is given ideal conditions to hang on and thrive. But if it doesn't grow when transplanted, then Rexall's MI-31 has killed it within those few seconds. And, needless to say, full-strength MI-31 must kill contacted germs within a few seconds, or it isn't good enough to wear the Rexall label.
You know, I'm beginning to understand more and more why you family druggists tell us.
You can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Well, it's true.
Good health to all from Rexall.
This is Phil again, folks. Don't forget to tune in to us next week. We're going to do a swell program from Palm Springs. Good night, everybody.
Listen carefully. The next few seconds can save you money. Now, Rexall antihistamine costs less. Now everybody can afford this marvelous new miracle drug that often stops cold symptoms in one day when taken at the first sign of a cold. Listen to these prices on Rexall antihistamine. Bottle of 15 tablets, 39 cents. Family-sized bottle of 50 tablets, only 98 cents. Little more than a penny per tablet. Ask for Rexall antihistamine wherever you see the orange and blue Rexall sign on the window. And remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Next, here's Sam Spade.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
If you like good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. Now, The Halls of Ivy.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget, though we be far, far away.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. It's a little past noon, and so far it's been an ordinary day. At the home of Ivy's president, Dr. William Todd Hunter Hall, and his wife, the former Victoria Cromwell of the English Theater, Dr. Hall is just entering the living room where he meets Penny, their maidservant, and says,
"Hello, Penny. Will you tell Mrs. Hall, please, that I'm ready to eat now?"
Mrs. Hall ain't in, sir.
Oh?
She got a message to please come quick to a rehearsal of the Junior Follies about 2 hours ago.
Oh, yes, the Junior Follies.
She said I was to inform you as soon as you wasn't quite so busy with your book.
Thank you, Penny.
You've been busy with that book a long time, haven't you, sir?
Yes, over 3 years.
Cool. Fancy that. Over 3 years on one book. If I may say so, sir, I read much faster than you do.
Penny, I'm not...
The secret is, don't stop to form each word with your lips.
Yes, Penny,
You'll find it's also a great help if you run your finger along the page under the lines as you go.
I'll practice, Penny, thank you.
Quite welcome, sir. Any time at all. I'll answer the door, sir.
Yes, Penny, do, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Is Mrs. Hall in?
No, sir, she's not.
Ask them in, Penny.
Come in, sir. A gentleman to see Mrs. Hall, sir.
Oh, good afternoon. I am Dr. Hall. Is there anything I can do?
Oh, thanks, Doctor, but I don't think so. Oh, I hope I'm not disturbing you. I should have phoned from the air terminal, but I'm in a terrible rush. My name's Pinero.
Won't you sit down, Mr. Pinero?
Oh, thank you. I don't know if Vic has ever mentioned me to you. I'm an old friend, broker into show business.
Oh, yes, of course. You're Auntie Pinero.
The same.
Yes. Well, she's often told me about you and the act you used to do. Pinero and Cromwell, wasn't it?
That's right, Pinero and Cromwell, those two funny people. Yes. Is that clock right up there? Yes, sir, right up there. How do you get down off an elephant? You don't get down off an elephant, you get down off a duck.
Yes. I've often heard of the supposed difference between English and American humor, Mr. Pinero. The understatement of one and the exaggeration of the other. But if you were quoting from Pinero and Cromwell, those two funny people...
Oh, if you mean that a jam tart smack in the face is not very funny but gets laughed at by everybody, Doctor, I agree with you. Keep it simple is what I tell everybody on my way to the bank. Yeah. You're Vic's husband, I take it, eh?
Happily, I am.
I was never sure. I've been in Australia till recently. Are you in the business?
The business of what?
I mean, are you in show business, too?
Oh, no. I'm the president here.
Well, I have been out of touch. Whatever became of Truman?
No, Mr. Pinero, you don't understand. I am the president of this college, Ivy College.
Oh, yes, of course.
And Mr. Truman, I believe, is quite well and still in the White House. His lease is good through most of 1952.
Well, it's not for me to criticize your customs. How's Vickie? You know, it's been a dog's age since I last saw her. Prettiest kid I ever knew, and the nicest, and the most talented. How is she?
Oh, I think she's better than ever, Mr. Pinero. Although I must admit to a slight prejudice in her favor.
And that great sense of timing for a comedy line.
Her timing is, as always, admirable.
And is she still, Oh, I know I'm being inquisitive, but I've got a good reason for asking. Is she still, Has she got, does she bulge?
Only where bulging is, shall we say, architecturally desirable. But there again, I am prejudiced, Mr. Pinero. May I ask the reason for this research?
Well, you see, I have something most important to talk over with her.
Well, I rather imagine it might be important to me, too, Mr. Pinero.
Oh, of course it would, but I don't know if you'd understand it the way Vickie would.
Well, why not try me?
Well, you see, Doctor, once you've been mixed up in our business, you're never quite satisfied with anything else. You're never quite as happy as when you had grease paint on your face and were complaining about your lines.
Yeah, do you think that applies to everyone?
Oh, yes, I do, everyone.
You feel, then, that Victoria might be unhappy here at Ivy?
Oh, now, wait a minute, Doctor. I didn't say she was unhappy. It's just that she can't help missing the theater. Any more than you can help missing this library full of books.
I'm not at all sure that I agree with you, but I do understand your point. Every profession has a magnetism for its most competent practitioners, which is almost irresistible. But why this sudden concern for Victoria's happiness?
Oh, forgive me, Doctor, but I talk better when I walk around. Well, this is why. I need her. I need her badly.
In the question of need, Mr. Pinero, no one needs her as badly as I do, with, if you'll pardon me, a certain priority.
I know. But this is show business. Now, I produced a musical revue down in Australia in 1946 that's still running to packed houses.
I wonder if the quiet of the campus has been deadly for her.
My show is called Sydney's Harbour. It was such a hit down there that I brought a company to England last year, and it's still running there.
I wonder if all the happiness she's given me has left her with none of her own.
Now, my point is, Doctor, next month I'm opening Sydney's Harbour in New York.
I've been an idiot, so content with my own luck that
And I would like Vickie to play the lead. Well, did you hear me, Dr. Hall?
Huh?
I would like Vickie to play the lead.
The lead, yes, of course. The lead, naturally. Mr. Pinero.
Yes?
Would you mind giving me a few hours on this? I'd like to think about it quite seriously, and then may I phone you? I know that Victoria will be most anxious to see you.
Why, certainly, only I don't have too long. Oh, could I drop around again about, say, 6?
6, Mr. Pinero. And thank you.
Thank me? Whatever for, Dr. Hall?
For reminding me of something I had forgotten. Hello, my darling. How did it go?
Oh, if there's ever a junior polyp at all, I shall be amazed. You should have been there this morning. Sets falling down and fuses blowing all over the place. Orchestrations missing, actors going up on their lines. The director tearing his hair and screaming. Everyone hysterical with week before opening jitters. Ooh, it was heavenly.
It sounds quite hellish to me. Begging your pardon.
You've never been in show business. It was meat and drink to me. Just what the doctor ordered.
Vickie, do you find yourself missing the theater terribly? I mean, do you ever have any regrets?
Regrets? Of course not, Toddy. What kind of talk's that?
Well, after all, you were at the height of your career when I met you. And the life we lead here, well, it's so different from the life you've had.
Toddy, this is the height of my career right now. Every moment of it.
I think you've sacrificed a great deal.
Would you think that you sacrificed what might have been a great political career by marrying an actress?
Oh, my dear.
Well, you remember what that congressman told you? That you might have been a presidential log?
The phrase, my dear, is timber, not log. Although in some cases, log is the more descriptive term. Particularly when you realize that a log is difficult to handle, has a great affinity for a stump, and is most useful when dead. But, oh, dear, I'm digressing. No, Vickie, of course I don't regret it.
Well, then, there you are. We might each have been something else if we never married. But we did, and we're happy, and that's the essential thing.
And you don't ever wish you were back?
Oh, Toddy, darling, grease paint and fiddles tuning up in the pit will always make my nostrils quiver and my ears twitch. But that's why I love coaching these college shows. There's a little harmless smoke that keeps the old firehorse happy.
Firehorse, indeed, please. You are speaking of the woman I love. But seriously, Vickie, and the women's magazines notwithstanding, marriage is not really a career. In its original meaning, the word career meant a gallop, a gamble, a frisk. Marriage is not a gallop. It's a pleasant amble. It's also a serious partnership in a serious business, life. It can coexist with a career only with the most scrupulous balance of interests.
Hey, what are you trying to tell me?
Mr. Pinero is in town.
No. Artie?
Yes.
Where? Whatever is he doing here? Where is he?
At the inn. He'll be back here about 6.
Oh, how wonderful. I'll call him right this minute.
I told him you were most anxious to see him.
Oh, I am. I can't wait. Oh, you told him?
Yes, he was here.
Toddy?
Yes, my dear?
Does he want me to go back to the theater?
Suppose you talk to him.
Marriage, my darling, is not a career. William, are you trying to get rid of me?
Now, Vickie, is it...
Are you sending me back to the grease paint and footlights?
Now, Vickie,
Have you decided that an actress's place is on the stage and never to darken your doors no more?
My darling, you...
Oh, I out in the snow with my shawl and my baby.
Darling, I have seriously tried to see both sides of the question.
Well, I've made my decision.
You have?
Yes, I'm going.
You are?
Certainly. With this deafening public clamor in my ears, how can I refuse the call of duty? I'm going.
Going?
I'm going to phone Artie. He's convinced you that I should go back to the theater. Now he's going to try and convince me. And let me tell you, what's that peculiar look in your eye?
Just speculation, my darling. I think I shall meet Mr. Pinero on the front steps with a loaded pistol. I have just invented a new crime, Pinero-cide. And in court I can say that everything suddenly went black. And believe me, Vickie, I can think of nothing blacker than the prospect of losing you to a jar of makeup.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
An experience like that usually has a story behind it. So before we return to the halls of Ivy, let's hear the story of a new house, the couple who moved into it, and a tour of inspection by their next-door neighbor that stopped almost before it started.
I'm the next-door neighbor, a fact for which I'm deeply grateful, since it led to my first taste of Schlitz beer. But to begin at the beginning, my neighbors had just finished getting their new home in order and wanted me to come over and give the place my approval. I went in through the back door and was led into the stainless steel splendor of a modern kitchen. There, with love in their eyes, my new neighbors showed me the miracle of automatic dishwashing, the efficiency of their new stove, and the amazing capacity of their new refrigerator. At that point, the tour of inspection came to an abrupt halt, for the refrigerator was well stocked with Schlitz beer. Somehow, I'd never gotten around to trying Schlitz before, though I'd heard a lot of good things about it. My curiosity must have shown, because my neighbor took out a couple of bottles of Schlitz and poured a glass for me. I drank, and I realized right then and there what I'd been missing. Neighbor, I said, although I've been no farther than your kitchen, I can tell you this. If the rest of your house is in as good taste as the beer you serve, then believe me, you've made a sound investment. No wonder they call Schlitz the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
that surround us here today.
As we rejoin the halls of Ivy, we find Dr. Hall talking to his wife, who's just had a fine offer to return to the theater.
Vickie.
Yes, dear?
You know, quite sincerely, I don't want to stand in the way if you decide to take a sabbatical of your own, if you do think you'd like to get back in harness, as it were. I know how one can become infatuated with one's own profession, even mine, prosaic as it may seem in comparison to footlights and first nights. There are times when I positively thrill to the smell of old books. I remember we were joking about it once, about inventing a perfume for the wives of faculty members. We were going to call it Essence of Worm-Eaten Volumes.
You might even call it Eau de Voltaire.
Oh, very good, very good. But as for your absence for a few weeks disrupting my life, well, I shall miss you, of course, but I can manage.
Oh, you can.
Well, I mean, after all, I'm not a stereotyped, absent-minded professor.
No, I know. You're probably the most present-minded professor there is.
Well, thank you, my dear. So...
Toddie, now look. I had a wonderful life in the theater, but I have a wonderful life with you here. And I never want anything to change that.
Oh, nothing ever will, Victoria, as far as I'm concerned. I can only repeat a phrase Mark Twain placed in the mouth of Adam about Eve. Wherever she is, there is Eden.
Excuse me, sir. A young lady's calling. Miss Keating.
Keating?
Oh, it's Sally Keating, sure, in Penny.
Yes, Mum.
Sally Keating, that's a familiar name.
Yes, she's the lead in the Junior Follies.
Oh,
I don't know
yes.
exactly what... Well, come on in, Sally. William, you've met Sally Keating, I'm sure.
Oh, yes, indeed. Please sit down, Miss Keating. I understand you're the leading lady in the Junior Follies. Good heavens, what did I say?
Sally. Now, Sally, what is it? Sally, now tell me.
He threw me out of the show. Squippy threw me out of the show.
Oh, no.
Squiffy?
Dick Lester, class of 51. He's the director. Give her your handkerchief, William. Now, stop it, Sally. Tell me what happened.
Squippy was choking Larry.
Choking Larry?
What's that? You mean throttling him?
Larry threw his baton at Squippy first because some of the orchestrations were on fire.
On fire?
On fire?
Did Squippy have a match to them?
No, there was a short circuit in the pit before we could put it out. It was really the fault of Bobo.
What's a Bobo?
She's a who, not a what. It's Bobo Cleary. She's the head electrician. Now, Sally, stop it now. Now, stop it at once. I'm sure you're not really out of the show.
I am. And I don't care. I don't want to be in it. I hate the part. I never wanted in the first place. The songs are dreadful, and the lines I gave will leave me standing there with egg on my face opening night. And I wouldn't appear in a production with any of them for all the money in the world. I hate them.
Is this what you meant week before opening jitters?
That's it.
Oh, dear. Is it always like this?
Of course not. This is serene compared to the general run of things. Now, Sally, stop that and listen to me. You're behaving like a child. It's a very good and funny show, and the songs are some of the best I've ever heard. And you'll be fine opening night. You know it as well as I do. Now, I want you to run along home and douse your face with cold water. And then I'll meet you in the auditorium in an hour.
Well, all right, Mrs. Hall. But I'm scared to death about opening night.
Well, good for you. You should be. I always was, too. It proves we have emotions. What good is an actress without emotions?
Gee, that's right, isn't it? Well, keep telling me that, will you, Mrs. Hall? I'll see you in the auditorium. Bye, Dr. Hall.
Goodbye, Miss Keating.
Poor, happy child. All upset and enjoying every heart-throbbing dramatic moment of it.
Enjoying it? You really mean that?
She's enjoying every tear that runs down that pretty face.
Yes, I suppose that's right. I've often thought that young people were purposely designed to be intensely emotional, out of all proportion to the moment at hand. Then, in later life, when they meet real problems, their feelings have been tempered to withstand the sharp edge of disaster.
You must have found that out from observation, Toddy, not experience. I can't imagine you being very upset emotionally.
Oh, my equilibrium was fairly good, Vickie, until I met you.
You mean I tipped you over?
Well, as a matter of strict historical fact, my darling, the full impact of my being tipped over struck me about the third night we had dinner together in that dim-lit little restaurant in Soho.
Oh, yeah, I remember. The little French place. Or Armenian or Greek or all of them combined, I think.
Yes. I had a conviction as I sat there and saw the candlelight experimenting with your eyelashes that this was a moment to remember.
William, dear, for a visiting American, you do find the most delightful places to take me.
Thank you, Victoria, but most of them are rather ordinary places which become delightful by reason of your arrival.
No. But this little restaurant, I never saw it before or even heard of it.
Oh, my ingenuity has an economic basis. This place looked quiet, clean, and inexpensive. You know, I've been prowling around this district quite a bit.
Yes, Soho. It is interesting, isn't it?
Intensely, the very name. Soho. A fox hunting term, you know.
Is it really?
Yes, this was originally fox hunting country. And Soho was the huntsman's cry to call off the hounds. And later on, when the Edict of Nantes was revoked, this was the refuge of thousands of French Huguenots and others escaping from the French Revolution. Thus, through the centuries, Soho has become London's foreign colony.
Thank you.
That's all right, darling. The bus leaves the Marble Arch at 2 o'clock.
I should be very happy to be honest. But how on earth did you know all this? I've been here all my life, and I never knew these things.
Oh, it's nothing. Strangers always know more about a country than the natives. When we get to America... What did I say?
You said, when we get to America, you said. I heard you. Distinctly.
I'm sorry. I had no right to presume that... forgive me.
No.
You must. My thoughts, my hopes ran away with my tongue. Sitting here, watching your face... And I don't think I shall ever want to eat another meal except by candlelight. Victoria...
Yes, dear?
I think I must be a little mad to think as I've been thinking. Here am I, an American professor on his sabbatical, with neither fortune nor fame in his pocket, having the unutterable presumption to hope that a reigning star of the London theatre would...
Would what?
Would you care for more coffee?
No, thank you, William.
Good. Nothing more to... Well, Vickie, darling, you haven't eaten a thing. Look at your plate.
Well, look at your own.
But what? Didn't you like the dinner? Did I choose a bad restaurant?
William, dear, how could either of us possibly eat? You've been holding my hand ever since we sat down.
I have? Oh, good heavens. Oh, Victoria, I am sorry. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it again on every possible occasion.
Do what, sir?
Hold your hand like this.
Well, thank you, sir. Very kind of you, sir. But don't you think that...
William, Miss Penny, you're holding Penny's hand.
Of course I am. William and Penny, the two happiest people in the district. William and Penny. What am I... Penny, let go my hand.
Yes, sir. Gladly, sir. You're pinching the ring into the finger, sir.
I beg your pardon. I thought I was...
What was it you wanted, Penny?
Mr. Pinero is here.
Pinero? Oh, yes. Show him in, Penny.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Off again on one of your little excursions, Toddy?
Yes, I guess I was.
Was I with you this time?
Oh, you're always with me, my darling. My excursions, as you call them, always call for 2 tickets, and I always...
Mr. Pinero, sir.
Artie!
Vickie, my duck!
Won't you sit down, Mr. Pinero?
Pinero and Cromwell, those 2 funny people. I'm so glad to see you I could cry.
Try this chair over here, Mr. Pinero.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. Well, you're looking great, Vickie. Well, you haven't changed the hair, so help me. Oh, what you do to them in Sydney's harbour is nobody's business.
I've told her part of your plan.
You're absolutely made for the part, Vic. Why, you'll be the toast of the town.
Yes, Artie, my husband told me what you said about putting your show on in New York.
I wasn't able to paint quite such a colourful picture as he did.
That's very simple. I need you, pet. Thought it all over a million times, and you're the one, the absolute one.
It seems, Vickie, that you are the one wherever you go.
Now, name your own terms. Why, this would be the biggest thing that ever hit Broadway. Now, what about it, Vickie?
I'm afraid, Artie, it's too late. It sounds absolutely lovely, but I'm just too happy here.
Dr. Hall, I appeal to you. You have the understanding of a professional.
Oh, you know how I feel about this, Victoria. I'll miss you terribly. But if you feel the slightest desire to go back...
William.
What, my dear?
Nothing on this earth could persuade me to leave you. You see, Artie...
No. Don't go on, Vickie. I know the answer. The way you two look at each other tells me more than words. Well, it was worth trying.
Oh, yes, Mr. Pinero, well worth it. Broadway's loss is Ivy's good fortune and mine.
I'm sorry, Artie. You were sweet to remember me.
Oh, forget it, Vickie. Just thought it would be nice to get together again. Pinero and Cromwell. Those two funny people. Tell me, do you know how to make a Venetian blind?
Stick your finger in his eye. Goodbye, Artie.
Applause and exit Artie Pinero. God bless Vickie. And good luck to you, Doctor.
Thank you, Artie. And my sincere sympathy. You see, I too know what it means to have a top actress under exclusive contract in a solid hit, with the prospect of a long, long run. Goodbye, Mr. Pinero.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Welcome home, Vickie.
I've never been away, my darling.
But it must have been tempting.
Toddy.
Hmm?
Have you ever looked down Faculty Row at 6 o'clock in the evening?
Often?
Have you ever seen the trees change color while you were watching them?
Many times.
Have you ever listened to the singing at night on Fraternity Lane?
Oh, I've even added my own baritone from outside the windows.
And have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror?
Now, Victoria.
I like it here, Toddy. I love it.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And now here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
Ladies and gentlemen, when disaster strikes, the Red Cross is there with emergency assistance. Even more important, the Red Cross stays on the scene to help rebuild and to provide medical care. Last year, the Red Cross gave assistance to over 200,000 persons in 330 disaster operations. Your help is needed. The four arms of the Red Cross embrace the entire world. Forearmed is forewarned. Give more than before. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
That surround us here today, and we will not forget, though we be far, far away.
We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. The other players were Joseph Kearns, Janet Waldo, and Gloria Gordon. Tonight's script was written by Walter Brown Newman and Don Quinn. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolf, and presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ken Carpenter speaking.
Dennis Day. Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream, the cream shampoo for true hair loveliness. Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, Charles Dant and the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing the title tune from the new Edgar Bergen motion picture, Fun and Fancy Free.
I'm full of fun and fancy free. That's the way I want to be. I don't let my troubles trouble me. I'm fancy free and full of fun. Got no time to worry none. I'm too busy singing in the sun. If you should have a chronic ache, pills won't make you strong. The only tonic you should take is a teaspoonful of song. So if you really like to be happy, lucky, just like me, drown your frowns, my friend, and you will see that you'll be full of fun and fancy free. If I should see a gloomy gust, I'd never hang around. You'd see me raising quite a dust, 'cause I'd be elsewhere bound. So if you really like to be happy, lucky, just like me, drown your frown, my friend, and you will see that you'll be full of fun and fancy free.
Famous beauty authority Kay Duman now sends you the winning secret of true hair loveliness. Your hair can be your most captivating charm with one touch of magic, Luster Cream Shampoo. Yes, whether your hair is honey blonde or raven black, sunny brown or fiery red, it's your natural hair appeal that men love. And more women of all ages are discovering that Luster Cream Shampoo brings out the fullest natural glory of their hair. Not a soap, not a liquid, Luster Cream Shampoo is an amazing new dainty cream that whips up luxurious lather like magic in hard or soft water, sweeps dullness away, and in its place leaves hair heavenly soft, shining, obedient. Out of her wealth of cosmetic lore, Kay Duman blended lanolin with special secret ingredients to achieve this almost magic new cream that offers your hair a stunning new sheen and finish. Try that economical $1 jar of Luster Cream Shampoo, now at all cosmetic counters. Also 30-cent and 55-cent sizes. Thrill to all those admiring looks coming your way when you begin using Luster Cream, the cream shampoo for true hair loveliness. Well, as you know, when our young hero Dennis Day met the girl of his dreams, Mildred Anderson, over a year ago, his immediate problem was to get on the good side of her mother. Unfortunately, he's made very little progress with that problem. In fact, he hasn't even found out yet whether she's got one to get on. So this morning, he decided to seek some advice from one who's unquestionably a qualified expert on the matter, the cuter half of the Anderson family.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes, my son?
I've been wanting to have a talk with you for some time, sir. It's about Mrs. Anderson.
My little lump of love?
Yes, sir, but with me, she isn't that kind of lump at all. In fact, she hates me.
Oh, now, Dennis, I'm sure you're mistaken. It's probably just that you do something now and then that annoys her.
Yes, sir. I breathe.
Well, don't you stop, my boy, even for her.
But I got to do something, Mr. Anderson. I can't go through life always scared to death of her.
Well, why should you, my boy? Now, I've known Poopsie for years, and I assure you she wouldn't harm a fly.
Maybe not, but boy, the way she treats human beings.
Now, Dennis, you mustn't feel that way about my wife. She has a hard exterior, yes, but way down deep inside her is a sweet, kindly, lovely soul.
Mr. Anderson, I have no time for dredging. I need help now.
Yes, son, I see your problem. Mrs. Anderson didn't have much respect for me either, right up to the day that I asked her to become my wife. But then She looked at me in a different light.
Yes, sir, but I don't think a step like that would be practical for me.
Well, to tell the truth, I really didn't have it in mind for you. But now what we need is some little, hey, wait a minute. I think I have it.
Are you sure I want it?
Yes, I think you do. Remember a few weeks back, my wife's club put on a drive to help juvenile delinquency?
Yes, sir.
Well, they have a new project now. They want the city of Weaverville to build a new jail.
Gee, they must have helped juvenile delinquency no end.
Well, no. As far as I know, the two projects are unrelated. Except that because of her work on the other one, they made Mrs. Anderson the chairman of this one.
Oh, I see. And you think if I could help her in some way...
Exactly. Now, if she can get the city to erect a new jail, despite the objections of the mayor and the chief of police, I have a hunch the club presidency is in her lap. So you see, it's...
Good morning.
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Anderson.
Good morning, Blossom Face.
Gee, Mrs. Anderson, I just heard all about your problem with the new jail, and you know what? I'm going to help you.
Dennis, don't say things like that, even if you're joking.
But, Mrs. Anderson, I want to help. Don't you want to hear my ideas?
Why should I?
I might have a good one. You can't listen to your common sense all the time.
Dennis, I'm warning you. Stay out of this. We're taking a public opinion poll on a new jail, and that's all that should be necessary to convince the mayor and the chief of police.
But I know the chief of police personally, and I could have a talk with him and present your side of the case.
Certainly not. Let's at least keep our old jail. If you get mixed up in this in any way, young man...
Good morning, everybody.
Oh, good morning, Mildred.
Good morning, Mildred. Just remember what I said, Dennis. Come along, Herbert. Get your Hoover. This is your thorough cleaning day.
Yes,
My goodness, Dennis, what's the matter?
Oh, I just offered to help your mother with the new jail, and as usual, I made quite a bit of back way.
Oh, gee, they really should have a new jail. Prisoners escape from this old rat trap in droves. It'd be wonderful if you could do something... Say, wait a minute.
An idea, huh?
Oh, a beauty. Look, I'm the secretary of the committee headed by Mrs. Phillips to take a public opinion poll on the new jail.
Yeah?
Well, suppose I list houses to call on where we're sure no one's home.
This is a beauty?
Well, sure. Because there will be someone there. You.
Me?
Of course. At each place, you open the door just wide enough for Mrs. Phillips to hear you but not see you. Then in a different voice each time, you vote yes on the poll. Wonderful?
Wonderful. That's trespassing, illegal entry, housebreaking.
Not if we don't get caught. We'll pick places that are unoccupied or up for sale. Come on, let's go.
You know what, Mildred? If you passed your ideas around to everyone in town instead of just me, they'd have to build a new jail.
Easy it was. This house was open for inspection, so we have a perfect right to be here.
Gee, never in my wildest dreams did I expect to become all the answers on a public opinion poll. I wish I... Oh, my gosh, look, here's Mrs. Phillips coming up the walk.
All right, now, don't get excited. Just remember which way to vote and disguise your voice. Be Italian or something.
Gee, I don't know much about Italian, but I'll try.
How do you do? I'm conducting a public opinion poll.
That's a fine. I'm a vote the wee-wee.
I don't quite understand.
What's I mean, my shoe? I'm in favor of the new jail.
Why, how did you know that I was going to ask you that?
Well, that's the question on everyone's lips, you know?
Yes?
Well, you happen to pass by just when I get about to mine. Goodbye, please.
Dennis, you've just got to be more careful after this.
Yeah.
Come on, her next stop is 349 Elm.
How do you do?
Howdy, Bub.
Bob!
Sorry, Bub-S.
My dear sir.
Got something on your mind, lady?
Why, yes, I have.
Well, as the bald-headed rose said to the stripteaser, let's get it off.
In your opinion, does the city of Weaverville need a new jail?
Why, sure, ma'am. As the clerk in the girdle department said to the fat lady, there ain't no getting around that.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, much better, Dennis. All right, let's go.
How do you do? You're the owner of this house, Professor Nikolai Rudensky?
Da.
Well, I'd like to ask you a question, Professor.
Da?
Yes. Will you answer it?
Da.
Does Weaverville need a new jail?
Da.
Oh, thank you, sir. And goodbye.
Da-da. Okay, lassie, I got my opinions, but they're no for free. Now, if you'll give me a halfpenny for my thoughts. Ah, thank you, ma'am. I vote aye. Hey, Ben, who's the fence and domestic?
Well, Hulda, do you think Weaverville should have a new jail?
Oh, yeah, sure, you betcha. Oh, sure, me all the same a flavor on new jail for Weaverville, you betcha.
Well, thank you very much. And may I have your name, please?
Me all the same hip long on fasting dang ding dong bong from Hong Kong.
Could you repeat that?
Oh, no, very sorry. Just made it first time.
How do you do?
Well, faith now on the top of the morning to you, Colleen darling. And what is it I can be after doing for you this fine morning in the store of Hushla McCree?
Why, Dr. Goldberg. What your sign says outside the door, Dr. Goldberg.
Oh.
Tell me, Dr. Goldberg, do you think the city of Weaverville needs a new jail?
You're asking me and I'm telling you. What
Well, so far so good, Dennis. And this is the last place.
Yeah, but I'm running out of voices. I can't think of anybody else to be.
Dennis, just use your imagination. You've got to think of one. Oh, my gosh, here she comes. I'll run out and try to stall her while you think of something.
Okay.
You, Mrs. Phillips? Oh, Mildred. Yes, I knew you'd be passing by here, so I thought I'd meet you. How's the poll going?
Oh, my dear, it's a landslide for us. But you know, the strangest thing, I never see anyone. No, they just open the door a crack and put their foot in it.
Oh, really?
Yes. And oddest of all, they're all wearing the same clothes. Light brown slacks and sneakers. Even Hulda Swenson, domestic.
Oh, well, you don't say.
Mm-hmm. I do believe it's a trend, my dear. I must wire Adrian immediately. Well, I wonder who I find in this last house. They've all been so unusual today. Good day. I beg your pardon, but could you open the door just a bit wider?
No, I can't, because I'm only 3.5 years old, so there, too, sir.
3.5 years old?
Yeah, 2.
Well, then how do you explain the fact that you're wearing light brown slacks and sneakers?
Second childhood?
I don't think so. Perhaps I'd better push open the door and find out for myself.
No, wait.
Dennis Day! So, it was you all the time.
Well, Mrs. Phillips,
You've ruined my poll, that's what you've done. My report is worthless. I'll have to tear it up.
Well, Mrs. Phillips,
Think of you being in every single one of those houses. How could you do a thing like that?
We used Mr. Anderson's car.
idea did blow up in our faces, you're not going to quit, are you?
Yep.
Dennis Day, are you the kind of a man who takes a beating lying down?
Nope, I get up and run.
Well, you're not giving up. I have another idea.
Oh, no, Mildred.
Yes. This Mayor Brown who's fighting the new jail is a very impressionable man. Now, if an important senator from Washington, in a big hat and a handlebar mustache, told the mayor we needed a new jail, he'd...
Mildred, no, not a senator. I won't do it. I won't.
Dennis?
No, this I positively and definitely will not do, and that's final.
Dennis Day?
Very well, Poopsie.
Come in. Mayor Brown, my name is Gregory. I'm a big senator from Washington, D.C., that is.
Senator, why, this is a pleasure. Sit down, sir.
Thank you, old master. Mayor, we hear reports in Washington that you'd make a mighty good congressman.
Congressman? Oh, Senator, not really.
Yep. Now, how do you stand on price control, Mayor? Labor, foreign relations, housing, the tariff?
Well, gosh, I don't believe I ever gave any of them a thought.
By George, you might even make the Senate.
Gosh, Senator, honest?
You bet, son. Only there's something standing in the way of your career. We hear you got a bad jail.
A bad jail?
Mighty bad, son. We hear it's so bad that you got to lock people in it.
But they're prisoners, Senator.
They vote, don't they?
Well, yes.
I love every one of them.
But what can I do, Senator?
Build a new jail, son, and fast. I've got big plans for you, but you got to cooperate. Now, the first thing that we do...
Here's our chief of police. Chief, I want you to meet someone.
Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Chief.
Now, as I was saying,
Wait a minute. You know this man, Chief, and he's not a senator?
A senator? Dennis Day? That kills me.
I don't think it's going to do me much good either.
Impersonating a senator, eh? Day, do you know I could have you jailed for this?
But I did it for a good cause, Your Honor. That jail you've got is an old rat trap. Why, anybody could break out of it.
Anybody, huh?
Why, sure, they... Chief, why are you looking at me like that?
You said anybody could get out, didn't you?
Are you... Is somebody going to get a chance?
We're going to hold you on a technical charge of impersonating a senator, wise guy. And if you can get out of our jail, we'll agree to build a new one.
Me? You're going to put me in jail?
Why, you'll be out in an hour. You said yourself it was an old rat trap.
Yeah, but suppose I was wrong. You leave a boy of my type in jail with those hardened criminals?
That's their tough luck. They should have thought of that before they committed their crime. Come on, you.
Hey, Frankie, how you coming with that hole?
Okay. Ought to hit daylight any minute now.
Atta boy, keep digging. We got to get out of this. Wait a minute.
Eh?
Quick. Cover up the hole. Here comes the chief with a guy.
Okay.
Okay, kid. Right in here with these two boys. Well, I'll see you, chum.
Hiya, kiddo.
Hello, bunkies.
What's the moniker, kid?
The what?
The name. I'm Harry the Hook.
Yeah, I'm Frankie the Fink.
Oh, I'm Dennis the Day.
What kind of a name is that? What kind of a name is that for a crook?
Well, you see, I'm not really a full-fledged criminal. I'm just sort of an elderly juvenile delinquent.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. They just put me in here to see if I could find a way to get out. Say, you boys don't happen to know anyway, do you?
Oh, so that's it. You're a stoolie, huh?
Huh?
All right. Talk, kid. How much do you know?
Beg pardon?
Oh, don't give me that. Spill it. How much do you know?
Well, I went through junior high.
That's not what I mean. Do you see this fist, buddy?
Yes, sir. It's very nicely formed.
How'd you like it in your face?
I wouldn't.
Then talk. Come on, say something.
Yes, sir. Under the spreading chestnut tree. Yes, sir.
Let me at him, Frankie. There's nothing I like better than taking care of a stoolie.
Lay off, Harry. The guy's no stoolie.
I'm telling you he is. Let me at him.
You're crazy, Harry. He's too dumb to be a stoolie.
Oh, yeah?
Listen to your friend, Harry.
A wise guy, huh? I'll show you how we handle stoolies around here.
What's it? You put your right into the...
Hey! Gee, look, a big hole in the floor. Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine.
Say, we better tell the chief, huh? A prowler could sneak in here that way.
You hear that, Frankie? He wants to tell the chief. And you said he wasn't a stoolie, you dumb ox.
Yeah, well, who pushed him into the hole in the first place, you lunkhead?
Who are you calling a lunkhead?
Who are you calling a dumb ox?
You.
Oh, yeah?
So you want to play, huh?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, fellas, Funky, please. Hey, you're liable to hurt someone over there, not be yourself. Harry, wait a minute. Hey, now what? Frankie, don't hit him with that phone. Gee, I guess I just bring out the beast in people.
Hey, what's going on here? Oh, holy smoke. Frankie and the hook, both out cold.
It's my fault, Chief. You see, I...
Your fault? Why, you little tiger.
Huh?
What's this? A hole in the floor.
Yes, sir. That's what started it. You see,
Dennis, are you all right?
Mildred and Mrs. Anderson, what are you doing here?
The mayor phoned us. We came down to get you out.
What is this? What's going on here?
This kid just cooled off both these thugs.
What? Dennis? How did it happen?
Well, the way I figure it, the kid dug that tunnel to make the break he said he was going to make. And those two thugs demanded to be taken along. They got tough about it, so Day here, well... Let's have the rest of it from you, Day.
Oh, no, go right ahead. You're doing fine.
Good heavens, look at the size of the hole he dug.
And in less than 5 minutes. How did you do it, Day, with no cool tools of any kind?
Oh, it wasn't very hard rock. I just used my teeth.
Good gosh. Well, this boy has taught me a lesson. The town does need a new jail, and I'm going to see that it gets one.
Oh, Dennis, sugar baby, you doll, you.
Gee, I lead the most unpredictable life.
Oh, Dennis, I'm so proud of you. I could just kiss you.
I'm going to kiss him. I think he's just the most Dennis Day, come up out of that hole.
Yes, ma'am.
Dennis Day will be back in just a moment with a song. But first, here's a fact worth knowing. Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. And just how important that is, our Colgate players are going to demonstrate. Let's look in on a young couple with a love seat, but no love. Listen.
Gosh, Judy, you sure are scrappy lately. I've been spending more time in the doghouse than Fido.
Oh, Jim, I don't like these cat and dog fights any better than you do.
Well, then tell me what the trouble is, Judy.
Well, Jim, your dentist can handle that subject better than I can. So ask him, won't you?
And here's what Jim found out. Scientific tests prove that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate Dental Cream instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. And Colgate's safe polishing agent brings out the natural sparkle of your teeth, cleans them thoroughly and safely.
Yes, Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
And Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over other brands tested.
So to clean your teeth thoroughly and safely, for a wake-up flavor everyone enjoys, use Colgate Dental Cream. Remember, Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. With Charles Dant in the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing the beautiful old favorite, the Whiffenproof Song.
Down at Maurice, to the place where Louis dwells, to the dear old Temple Bar we love so well. Sing the whipping-poops assembled with their glasses raised on high, and the magic of their singing cast its spell. Yes, the magic of their singing, of the songs we love so well. Shall I wasting and Mavurnin and the rest? We will serenade our Louis while life and voice shall last. Then we'll pass and be forgotten with the rest. We're poor little lambs who have lost our way. We're little black sheep who have gone astray. Gentlemen, conquer on free, soon from here to eternity. Lord, have mercy on such as we. Gentlemen, conquer on free, soon from here to eternity. Lord, have mercy on such as
Good night, everybody.
Remember, doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. And this beauty plan with Palmolive soap was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, 36 doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan improves all types of skin. Brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath that's sweet and teeth that sparkle presents the Mel Blanc Show with Mary Jane Croft, Joe Kearns, Hans Conried, the Sportsman, our guest star Bert Gordon, the Mad Russian, Victor Miller and his orchestra, and starring Mel Blanc.
There's no business like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing. Everything the traffic will allow.
Nowhere could you get that happy feeling
when you are stealing that extra bomb. There's no people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. That night you open and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they've hung a star. Let's go on with the show. Even with a turkey that you know will fold, you may be stranded out in the cold. Still you wouldn't change it for a sack of gold. Let's go.
Hello, Joe. What do you know?
I just got back from a vaudeville show. Let's go on with the show.
There's plenty of excitement today in Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop. Mel's running the local community chess drive, which is having a big affair tonight in the local auditorium. Right now, he's being interviewed by Willie Murdoch, a reporter for the town newspaper.
Gee, Willie, it sure is nice of you to write a story about me.
Well, that's all right, Mel. Now, let me take some notes. Tell me something about yourself, Mel.
Oh, nothing ever happens to me.
Led a very interesting life. Then what happened to you, Mel?
Well, when I was 16, I went to work in a candy factory. I was in the chocolate-covered nougats department. I put in the nougs. You see, somebody poured the chocolate, I put in the nougs. Somebody poured the chocolate, I put in the nougs. Then I was promoted.
Oh, yeah?
Somebody else put in the nougs, and I poured the chocolate. Well, 1 year of that, and I developed a sweet tooth. Her name was Sadie, and I almost married her.
You almost married her?
Yeah.
Had narrow escape from disaster. And then became a big executive in an oil company.
Hey, look, Willie, you're not taking down anything I say.
Mel, if I put the story in your way, who would buy the paper?
I would.
You would. Mel, who else is helping you on the community chest affair?
Well, there's my helper, Zuki.
Zuki?
Yeah, he's at Mr. Colby's house right now trying to round up some refreshment.
Well, what do you want, Zuki?
A case of soda, some ice cream. You got any chairs?
Sit down, Zuki. I'll be glad to help.
Oh, thanks, Mr. Colby. You know, this is a big job for Mel.
Yes, and I'm afraid it's too big for him. After all, Mel is just a little potato, but he is a sweet boy.
Yeah, he's kind of like a little sweet potato.
Well, what do you suppose Mel would like, Zuki?
Can you bake a cake?
Not very well, Zuki.
Oh, it's easy. You see, you take some flour. You take a quart of milk, You take it to two eggs. You buy one in the bakery.
How would you like it if I brought some assorted pies?
I could go for that.
Oh, wait, here comes my daughter Betty.
I could go for that. I like pies.
Hello, Zuki.
Hello.
Well, you're all spruced up today, aren't you, Zuki?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to look good tonight.
Zuki, I never noticed it before, but you're handsome.
Hey, you know, Betty, you have a nice... well, I love you. You got a very cute little... I love your... Oh, it's South America. Don't take it away.
Betty, Mel sent Zuki over for some refreshments for the community chest affair tonight.
Oh, gosh, Father, I have a whole box full of stuff I prepared. I meant to tell you about it.
Oh, gee, Betty, you're sweet. No wonder Mel is so crazy about you.
Is he really, Zuki?
Oh, yeah. Mel is so crazy about you that when he goes to sleep, he doesn't count sheep jumping over the fence. He counts you.
Oh, Zuki. You mean he counts me jumping over a fence?
Yeah. Last night he was counting, and all of a sudden he ran out for some bandages.
What was the matter?
He said you tripped. Yeah, thanks for everything. Oh, wait till you see the entertainment tonight.
Entertainment?
Yeah. We got a special guest coming to help us out. But I mustn't tell you who. You see, I wrote a play especially for the
occasion.
Thanks.
You wrote a play all by yourself?
Yeah, that's right, Betty.
Well, is it good?
Good? Oh, it's sensational. It's colossal. Wait till you hear it.
Colgate tooth powder, keep smiling just right. Use it each morning and use it each night. Don't take a chance with your romance. Use Colgate tooth powder.
Your romance will be a bursted bubble if you have that breath of trouble. Do you think you could be a victim of this breath of trouble? I mean, unpleasing breath? Why not be on your guard? Just do this. Brush your teeth night and morning and before every date with Colgate Tooth Powder. For Colgate Tooth Powder cleans your breath as it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests have definitely proved that in 7 cases out of 10, Colgate Tooth Powder instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. What's more, no dentifrice at any price cleans your teeth more quickly and thoroughly than Colgate Tooth Powder. Remember to buy it first thing. And remember the name, Colgate Tooth Powder, with the accent on powder.
Don't take a chance with your romance. Use Colgate Tooth Powder.
Well, a full moon has brought a lovely evening to Mel Blanc's little town. Perfect weather for the community chest benefit, and everybody has turned out. Right now, Mel is milling through the crowd, greeting all his friends. Well, there he is now, talking to Mr. Cushing, the president of Mel's local lodge, the Ancient Order of Benevolent Zebras.
Hello, Mel. Ugga, ugga, boo, ugga, boo, boo, ugga.
Oh, greetings, mighty potentate. Ugga, ugga, boo, boo, ugga.
It's a wonderful party, Mel. Wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Say, I want you to meet my wife.
Ugga, ugga, boo, ugga.
Likewise, I'm sure.
Say, Mel, the refreshments are wonderful.
Good.
All except that chocolate layer cake. That's terrible.
Oh, but Mr. Cushing...
It's almost impossible nowadays to get cement, and a woman has to use it to fill a cake.
Oh, but Mr. Cushing...
You know, I pity the poor guy that has to stand for that cooking day in and day out.
Mr. Cushing...
Who baked it, anyway?
Your wife.
Well, I gotta be going now. Ugga, boo, ugga, boo, boo, ugga.
Ugga, ugga, boo, ugga, boo, boo.
Hello, Mel.
Ugga. Hello, Mr. Brown. I'm glad you're here. How are you feeling?
Oh, not so good. I can't sleep tonight.
Drinking too much coffee?
No, I can't sleep on account of milk.
Well, gee, if you can't sleep on account of milk, why do you drink it?
Oh, I don't drink it. I deliver it.
Well, nice to see you, Mr. Brown. Excuse me now. I've got to start the entertainment. Oh, give me a fanfare, Victor. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here tonight. We're ready to start our show with Victor Miller and the Sportsmen playing and singing the hit songs from Annie Get Your Gun.
Folks are dumb where we come from. They ain't had any learning. Still they're happy as can be, doing what comes naturally. Folks like us could never fuss with school when you're out with the honey in the pale moonlight.
You don't have to come from a great big town.
Not to go picking berries in an evening gown.
That comes naturally. My uncle out in Texas can't even write his name. He signs his checks with excess, but they cash him just the same.
They're canceled.
Grandpa Dick was always sick, but never saw a doctor. He just died at 93, doing what comes naturally.
Say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful. So they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand. The thing that's known as romance is wonderful, wonderful in every way. So they say.
Still, I think I'm a lucky guy. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night.
No mansion,
got no yacht. Still I'm happy with what I've got. I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Sunshine gives me a lovely day. Furthermore, a mess of moonlight gives me the Milky Way. I got the sun, I got the moon, I got the sun in the morning and the moon at night. Yeah, with the sun in the morning and the moon in the evening, quite all
Thank you very much, boys. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a surprise for you. My assistant, Zuki, has written a special playlet for this occasion. It is his own amusing interpretation of the discovery of America in 1492 by Columbus. In this playlet, I am Columbus, and we have a very special guest who came here just to help us out in the play. So, here we go. Take it away, Victor.
It is the year 1492. Our hero Columbus and his weary men are approaching the shores of America. History is in the making.
Columbus, look, it's land. Still land.
Pardon me, I thought you said ham. How much can you act? So it is, land.
Stand fast, men. We are approaching the shore. Columbus, someone's coming over here. It looks like an Indian.
Yes. My. He looks ferocious. I'd better advance first and sound him out. Greetings, noble warrior. How do you do?
You are an Indian?
By the shores of Gitche Gunye. Well, I look like Mickey Runye.
But I thought that Indians wore feathers.
You want an Indian or a chicken?
Indian, you speak English very well.
That is most practical. You see, when I was born, I was very young.
How unique.
I was such an itsy-bitsy kiddie. Everybody came from miles around to look on my puss. Of course, the odds were against me. Because nobody could tell what I was.
Well, what happened?
And would you believe it? Till this very day, nobody discovered... Anyway, let's not waste any time. I'm an Indian, and I got a messenger, and I'm an Indian messenger, and I'm bumming the script up. I have a very big letter for you, sir.
A letter, huh? Say, what's that papoose on your back?
He handles the postcard.
What's your name, Indian?
Me? Ugh.
And what's your name, little papoose?
Me, Good Junior.
Little beaver. Redskin, can you find us a place to rest?
Are you kidding? It's impossible to find a wigwam these days. Are you a veteran?
A veteran? What's that?
That's a man who's looking for a place to live.
Well, anyway, Indian, can you tell where north is?
Most of course. It's very simple. You see, we Indians have a system. First, you put your finger up like this. Just like this. Then you wet the point like this. And as the wind is blowing from the east, you got to be careful you don't catch pneumonia. Because if you are catching pneumonia, you are going west, young man. And this means the north and the south will have nothing to do with you. Of course, this every Indian knows. You see what I mean?
Oh, sure.
Now explain it to me.
Well, anyway, you brought me a letter. What does it say?
White man must stop stealing Indians' land. Yours very truly, Iroquois Real Estate Company.
Well, Indian, go back to your chief and tell him we are here to stay.
Okay. But I warn you, if you are still here at 9 o'clock, we will make big war. Remember, the battle begins at 9 sharp. If I'm not back, go by yourself.
Vespuccio.
Yes, Columbus.
I'm afraid this is going to throw a terrible fear into the men. They're all worried.
Worried? Tell them not to lose their heads.
That's what they're worried about.
Hey, there, Bush.
Hey, wait a minute, Indy. You're not due back here until 9 o'clock.
I just came back to remind you we're on daylight saving time.
Columbus, what time is it?
It's 9 o'clock. In our glass, drip, drip.
Columbus, this is no time to joke. The engines are coming and the men are too afraid to fight.
Men, you can't let history down. The eyes of the world are upon us. In Spain, they're saying we're discoverers of a new nation. In England, they're saying we're men of iron. In France, they're calling us brave defenders of the world of tomorrow.
What are you here from Brooklyn?
Stand back, everybody. It's the Indian.
Who's an Indian? I'm Jesse James.
Want to know something? You sound just like the Indian.
I feel like him, too.
Well, what do you want, Jesse James?
I came here to help you build a railroad.
Why are you so interested in building a railroad?
I got the hold-up concession.
Look out, the Indians are shooting.
That's very funny. That's very funny.
What's very funny?
There were no guns in 1492.
Say, you're right. They used a bow and arrow.
That's better.
Up! They got me. They got me.
Gosh, one tip and it hit you in 5 places.
It's something new. An atomic arrow.
Oh, I'm dying. Partner, I'm dying.
You're dying?
I'm dying. I'm going to join Cleopatra. I'm going to join Salome. I'm going to join Madame Pompadour.
But you're dying. What are you so happy about?
Silly boy.
Mel, because of you, the community chest benefit tonight was a tremendous success. You were wonderful, darling.
Well, Zuki had a lot to do with this. His play was really fun. And, Betty, you were swell to help, too.
Oh, I was glad to help, Mel, and so was everybody else.
Gosh, I'm awfully glad. It's wonderful when people help each other out. That's what the community chest is for. Remember, folks, don't give till it hurts. Give till you feel good. Good night, folks.
This is Bud Easton reminding you that Colgate Tooth Powder for a breath of sweet and teeth that sparkle brings you the Mel Blanc Show every Tuesday at this time. Be sure to join us again next Tuesday night for more fun with Mel and the people you'll meet in Mel Blanc's Fix-It Shop.
Hall of Fame. The Radio Hall of Fame is presented during the full hour ahead by the Philco Corporation, makers today of electronic battle equipment for the fighting forces of the United Nations. Makers tomorrow of equipment for good living in a free world united by victory. Cooperating with Philco are the editors and correspondents of Variety, who report for the Philco program all the news of all show business the world over every week. This week, the editors of Variety recommend for your pleasure, and Philco delights to honor in your name, Radio, Fred Allen with Portman Hopper and the entire Allen Company. From opera, the celebrated Metropolitan tenor, Lawrence Melchior. From the Broadway stage, Lou Holt, master storyteller, and Raymond Edward Johnson, substituting for Orson Welles to bring you a New Year's message written by Stephen Vincent Benet. From the popular music field, Helen Forrest. Conducting the Hall of Fame Orchestra and Chorus, Paul Whiteman. Our master of ceremonies, the distinguished composer, critic, and commentator, Deems Taylor.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Deems Taylor speaking for Philco. You know, if we could transport the members of our cast directly to your homes today in person, you'd have the makings of quite a remarkable pre-New Year's party. Well, that's what we hope that our broadcast turns out to be. With Fred Allen, Portman Hopper, and Lou Holt taking care of laughter, Doris Melchior and Helen Forrest attending to the song department, and Raymond Edward Johnson lending a serious note to our year's end proceedings. Said proceedings open with a slightly daring piece of musical impertinence on the part of Paul Whiteman. Most New Year's parties end with Auld Lang Syne. Paul has chosen to make this traditional finale into a rousing overture. Beginning, Paul, at once. Speaking of old acquaintance, there's Lou Holt. Lou is a producer now at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. Before plunging Kane first into a 10-week shooting schedule on the new movie version of the Ziegfeld Follies, he's enjoying a busman's holiday at the Capitol Theater on Broadway. In other words, he's back at his old trade, making people laugh. For our New Year's program, Philco has asked Lou to reach back into his inexhaustible bag of tricks for a couple or so of typical Holt stories, including a continuation of the immortal saga of Sam Lapidus, a gentleman who surely belongs in the Hall of Fame. Enter Lou Holt.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a pleasure to be back here in New York. I've been away a year. The first thing I did as soon as I got in town, I ran over to my draft board. First thing, they said, Lou, we have put you in 73F. See? And I said, what is 73F? And they said, a single man with furniture. I've been traveling all over the country. I've been down south. I was down in Texas. I must tell you this. I met a chap in Texas, a Hebraic chap, and you've heard a lot of actors come out on the stage. They make up a lot of fictitious names for Hebraic gentlemen like DeWitt Clinton Fink or Throckmorton Abramowitz, Lilani Levine. There are no such people. But down in Texas, there's a guy. This is the end of all those names. This fellow's name is Honeysuckle Epstein. Honeysuckle has a mania for driving fast in an automobile. He's been arrested a score of times. He's been in jail. So finally got an idea. He got himself a car made that would go 175 miles an hour. The car was delivered to him. He got in the car, and he went out on the road looking for cops. He sees a cop that's arrested him 8 or 9 times. He's shot by this cop 90 miles an hour. The cop on the motorcycle right after him. And when he got within about 15 yards of Honeysuckle, he gave it a little more gas, you see, up to about 125. Now the cop is going after him all his might. And when the cop got near him the second time, he gave it a little more gas, up to about 145. Now he's going a little too fast for the cop, so he slowed up a little bit, you see. He's monkeying around with the law. When the cop got near him the third time, he gave it all he had, 175 miles an hour down the road. He's gone. He's down the road 8 or 9 miles, looked around. He's lost the cop. So he said, now I'll turn around and give it to him on the way back. Comes back down the road. He's looking for the cop. He finds him underneath a tree. His nose is broken. He's bleeding. His motorcycle is wrecked. Well, he was a wreck. He looked like he'd been hit by a train. Honeysuckle stops the car, turns to the cop. He says, son, see, what happened to you? He said, what happened to you, boy? Well, the cop says, you know, when I got near you that third time, when you pulled away from me so fast, I thought my motorcycle had stopped, so I got off to see what was wrong with it. There's an Irishman who lives in Brooklyn. His name is Sullivan. Now, this is an Irish story, a little out of my line, but say, I'll try. Mr. Sullivan lives in Brooklyn, and he's in this country about 4 weeks. He's walking down the street, and he finds $245 in a purse on the sidewalk. He looks at it.
He says, this is the most fantastic thing I've ever seen in my life. The most amazing thing is this gold in the sidewalk. Fantastic. The most fantastic thing I've ever heard of. What a land. What a land. He says it's fantastic.
He sees a streetcar. He gets on the streetcar for the first time. He's in the streetcar about 5 minutes. The car has gone about 6 blocks. And the conductor hollers out, Myrtle! And a woman got off.
He says, what a land. The most fantastic thing I've ever heard of in my life. It's fantastic. How did he you know her name? It's a mess.
You ride about 5 more blocks, the conductor hollers out, Marcy! And another woman got off.
He says, what an organization. The most fantastic.
They go about 6 more blocks. The conductor hollers out, Sullivan! He says, that's me. He gets off, he's walking up the street, and a nice old lady walked up to him. She says, I beg your pardon. Is this Sullivan? He says, it is. She said, I'm looking for 245, and he handed her the purse. I bumped into my old friend Sam Lapidus. Lapidus is walking down Park Avenue. He passes a very high-tone place. On Park Avenue, they call him Salon. Salon. Plain saloon. Walks in for the first time, walks up to the bartender and says, hi, shorty. Hi, old-timer. Hi, Spunky. He says, I'll have a highball. He says, hold it. I think I'll take a cocktail. One cocktail. The bartender handed him a cocktail. He gave the bartender $1. He's sipping slowly, awaiting the change. No change is forthcoming. He says to the bartender, Shorty. He says, there's a difference between you and me from 35 cents. After all, he said, I'm not a Johnny-come-lately. I'm one of the boys. I'm a Yankee Doodle boy and uptown boy. Highly educated, NYU, also Holy Cross. He says, kick in with it 35, boy. Kick in there, boy. Bartender said, I'm very sorry. We charge $1 for all drinks here. Peter said, for what reason? For what reason? Specify. The bartender said, you see that oil painting on the right? That's a Rembrandt worth $40,000. The one on the left is an old Gainsborough worth $60,000. The one in the middle is invaluable. Well, Peter said, I didn't know you had these kind of facilities. See you again. Comes in the next night, he says, hi, Spunky. Said, I'll have a cocktail. The bartender handed him a cocktail. He put 65 cents on the bar, put his hands over his eyes, and says, I saw the pictures last night.
In speaking of the future and the rich legacy which war research and production will leave to the peacetime world, Philco is aware that without victory, there can be no peace and no future for free men. So the only thing that the men and women of Philco are thinking of today in their laboratories, at their desks and machines, is the only thing that matters for us all: winning the war. At Philco, engineers, scientists, and workers are devoting all their skill, their genius, and the great mass production facilities to the weapons of war, producing radios and vital electronic equipment for planes and tanks, artillery fuses and shells, storage batteries for vital military transport and war industry. But all this research and production for war creates new knowledge, new ideas, new skills. Men of science see their dreams spring to reality. No matter how much the product of their brains and labor may be destroyed in battle, their ideas live. And they will survive after victory to bring you newer and finer products under the famous Philco name in radio, television, refrigeration, and air conditioning.
For the Hall of Fame's finest laurel chapeau, Miss Helen Flores. After serving an apprenticeship as a band vocalist with Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman, and Harry James, Helen stepped out on her own recently with an engagement at the Los Angeles Orpheum. The local variety correspondent caught her act, reported in rave terms to headquarters, and so Helen is with us today. She sings one of her biggest recording successes of 1943, I Don't Want to Walk Without You. Here's Helen Forrest.
Friends keep knocking at the door. They've asked me out 100 times or more. But all I say is leave me in the groove. And here I stay within my lonely room. The day you left me behind, I'd take a stroll and get you right off my mind, but now I find that I don't want to walk without the sunshine. Your word, you have to turn off all that sunshine. Oh, baby, please come back, or you break my heart for me. The day you left me behind, I'd take a stone and get you right off my mind, but now I find that the sunshine. You have to turn off all that sunshine. Oh, baby, please come back, or you break my heart for me.
As the year draws toward its close, in the sound and fury of global war, it is natural that our thoughts should turn toward the future. And if our thoughts on this last Sunday of the old year could be uttered in one huge national voice, it's certain, I think, that they would find expression in a prayer for victory and peace. To give words today to the unspoken New Year meditations of millions and millions of Americans, we had selected a distinguished actor and a great poet. The poet, Stephen Vincent Benet, whose death in 1943 deprived the free world of one of its most eloquent pleaders for human rights. The actor was to have been Orson Welles. When we learned that illness would prevent Mr. Welles from appearing, we were fortunate enough to be able to engage in his place a brilliant young actor, Raymond Edward Johnson, recently starred on Broadway in Sidney Kingsley's prize-winning play, The Patriots. In The Patriots, Mr. Johnson played the role of Thomas Jefferson. Tonight, he speaks as Jefferson might speak to Americans about to enter a third year of war. Raymond Edward Johnson, then, in Toward the Future, the combination of two celebrated radio works by Stephen Vincent Benet.
God of the free, we pledge our hearts and lives today to the cause of all free mankind. Grant us victory over the tyrants who would enslave all free men and nations. Grant us faith and understanding to cherish all those who fight for freedom as if they were our brothers. Grant us brotherhood and hope and union, not only for the space of this bitter war, but for the days to come, which shall and must unite all the children of earth. Our earth is but a small star in the great universe, yet of it we can make, if we choose, a planet unvexed by war, untroubled by hunger or fear, undivided by senseless distinctions of race, color, or theory. Grant us that courage and foreseeing to begin this task today, that our children and our children's children may be proud of the name of a man. The spirit of man has awakened, and the soul of man has gone forth. Grant us the wisdom and the vision to comprehend the greatness of man's spirit that suffers and endures so hugely for a goal beyond his own brief span. Grant us honor for our dead who died in the faith, honor for our living who work and strive for the faith, redemption and security for all captive lands and peoples. Yet most of all, grant us brotherhood, not only for this day, but for all our years. A brotherhood not of words, but of acts and deeds. We are all of us children of earth. Grant us that simple knowledge. If our brothers are oppressed and we are oppressed, if they hunger, we hunger. If their freedom is taken away, our freedom is not secure. Grant us a common faith that man shall know bread and peace, that we shall know justice and righteousness, freedom and security, an equal opportunity and an equal chance to do his best, not only in our own lands, but throughout the world. And in that faith, let us march toward the clean world our hands can make. This I ask in the name of all Americans everywhere.
By what right? By what right do you speak? Who are you?
Yeah, who are you, mister?
Sounds to me like a fool.
An impractical dreamer, that's what he is. Maybe he's a poet. Impractical dreamer, I always say. Impractical dreamer.
Listen, mister, what's your name?
I have I've been known by many names in many times and places. I crawled out of the sea in the mud long ages ago. And the gods of the thunder and lightning looked at me and said, "That's a queer new fish. He'll never last on land." I hid in the forest, small and frightened. And the dinosaurs clanked around and said, "Who's that impractical dreamer? We'll eat him alive. He's got nothing but hands and a brain." But they left their bones in the rock, and I lasted them out and went on. I crept out of caves toward the sunlight, and I built the free cities of Greece and the law that was Rome. I gathered the wisdom of China, and I sent a word crying through Palestine, a word that cries through the centuries to all men and nations. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, but we are all brothers. And that word goes on. I have dreamed many times. I found a new world in small ships, and none but the believers believed in me when I first dared that unknown west. When I wrote, "All men are created free and equal," few believed at first, but slowly many believed and many followed. Jefferson. I shivered and prayed at Valley Forge, and my prayer was answered. When I stood at Gettysburg and spoke over the graves, few believed. But the Union lives and shall live, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Yes, I've been called many names. I've spilt my blood in the streets of Paris and Athens and Moscow. I have grown as an oak tree grows from the roots of English law. I have been a preacher named Paul and a rail splitter named Abe Lincoln. I've been called madman and fool, but it's the brave and the sane who follow me first and always. Always first. There has been the dream and the men who are willing to die for it. I call forth the dream and the men. I call them forth from all nations. When man stands up on his feet and looks his fate in the eyes. Only yesterday on Corregidor, my name was Bill Smith from Ohio. And Jesus Maria Garcia was my brother's name. We had a rock to defend, and we defended it. And the name of that rock is liberty. And in that name I speak. For liberty can be lost by the practical man whose hearts are too shrunken to contain it. Liberty can be bartered away by the greedy minds who cannot see beyond their own day. Liberty can be stolen away by the robber and the brute. But liberty grows like grass in the hearts of the common people, from the blood of their martyrs. And the tyrants rage and are gone, but the dream and the deed endure. And I endure. It is I who command men and win battles. I have called them forth in the past, and I'm calling them forth today. I call the brave to the battle line. I call the sane to the council. I call the free millions of earth to the century ahead. The century of the common man established by you, the people. For this world cannot endure half slave and half free. My name is freedom. And my command today is unite. Unite in brotherhood for a people's victory. Unite. Unite in brotherhood for a people's peace.
to Raymond Edward Johnson. If you're a regular member of the Hall of Fame quorum, you will recognize Paul Whiteman's heraldic horn notes as the signal for a brief intermission. Beyond the intermission in Act 2, we shall encounter Lawrence Melchior, Fred Allen, Portland Hoffa, and the entire Allen mob. Mr. Riggs, this is your moment.
And this is the Blue Network.
And to ring up the second act curtain, Paul Whiteman provides a Paul-esque, or should it be Pauline, version of two melodies from the score of the Desert Song, recommended by Variety as the musical movie of the moment. The story is new, but the music has the same Romberg flair of old, as witness Paul's Desert Song medley.
when we are riding home. That's the time you best be hiding low. It means the rich are abroad. But before you fit in the storm. Oh, that's the sound that comes to warn you so. In the night or early morn, you know. If you're the red cattle's foe, or red with price without flow, that's free you.
Greetings of the season. What feelings do they convey for this holiday week of 1943? Against the background of war, at a time when so many hearts are filled with anxiety, what is the meaning of this gesture of goodwill among men? Today we offer for each other the greetings of the season as an expression of our faith, courage, and hope. It is a pledge of unity among free men. It is a symbol of our determination to work and to sacrifice that the ideals of peace on earth and goodwill toward men may not perish from the earth. In this spirit, the men and women of Philco Corporation, who are helping to fight the battle of production, look with confidence to the future and to the dawn of a brighter day for all mankind. And for themselves, as well as for Philco dealers everywhere, they send to their many friends in the far corners of the United States and Canada the greetings of the season.
Because of his shining career as a heroic tenor in the Wagnerian tradition, because of his lavishly given services in the war tasks of show business, and especially because he adds 6 feet 4 inches and 300 pounds of natural gaiety to the New York scene, Variety nominates for the Hall of Fame Lauritz Melchior. Large Lauritz and that small and lovely wife of his, the Kleinchen Maria, are taken together a constant indication that the world of good music is not of necessity a pompous, stuffed shirt secret society. Consequently, they're beloved of all local men of goodwill. Lauritz, the great Dane, sings for us a Scandinavian folk song arranged by Edvard Grieg, entitled The Great White Band. Mr. Melchior.
Oh
all of which has led us by, we hope, agreeable stages to Fred Allen. And Fred is accompanied by Portland Hoffer, together with the remarkable denizens of Allen's Alley, formerly known as the Mighty Allen Art Players. In the solemnly stated opinion of the editors of Variety, Fred Allen's recent return to the air is just about the most important news of the month in radio, period. If you missed Fred's opening show, you'll have our sympathy. And to make up for your loss, a condensed version now coming up. To appropriate music, enter Fred Allen.
Thank you, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Deans, I want to thank you for a nice, dull welcome. You should have honed my welcome structure a little before I get out. I would have expected something better from the Milton Berle of Carnegie Hall, Deans, after all. Do you realize that I have been away from radio for quite some time?
Well, yes. Where have you been?
Well, I could say I've been hiding, waiting for a pistol packing mama to blow over. But I haven't. I've been out in Hollywood, Dean.
Well, now, Fred, it didn't take you 6 months to get back from Hollywood, did it?
Have you tried to get a reservation on a train lately?
Yes, but even so, California's only 3,000 miles as the crow flies.
You can't even get a reservation on a crow, Dean.
But why should it be so hard to get tickets on trains to California?
Housing conditions. I'll explain to you. A man is going from New York to California. He gives up his apartment in New York. He gets on a train. When he arrives at Los Angeles, the city is crowded, you see. He can't find an apartment. He can't get a room in a hotel. He gets back on the train and returns to New York. Well, by now, the apartment he did have here has been rented. He can't find a place to live in New York. He gets on the train, and that's why it's impossible to buy a railroad ticket to California today, Dean. Thousands of people are living on trains. Thank you very much. A commuter. Thank you very much.
Yes, it must be homey.
It is homey, Deans. I came back from California on the Keys. One little old lady named Levy had been living in an upper berth with her 2 daughters and a rubber plant for 6 months, going and coming from Albuquerque.
Wasn't that a bit crowded?
Well, it was crowded at first, but one of the daughters married a man named Schwartz who was living in the lower berth under them, and the 2 families pooled their space, and now they're all very happy living in a section, Dean. And that's the way it goes. People are just... Well, Portland, even here... You're just in time, Portland. Deans and I are discussing in sort of a stilted way the housing shortage.
It's terrible. Some people didn't get any Christmas presents this year.
On account of the housing shortage?
Yes. A lot of families are living in chimneys.
Well, that probably accounts for the flu epidemic, I would say. Things, it shows what people will stoop to for money, doesn't it? The things are sure conjecture.
Mama put a nickel in a sandwich slot at the automat last night.
Yes?
The door flew open.
And?
A midget was sleeping in there.
On white or rye bread? Yes, that shows it's hard to find a place to sleep, Portland. Even midgets are taking slot lust these days. Now, wait a minute. Something may come of that.
My Uncle Phil is sleeping in Central Park.
Isn't he cold these nights?
No, he picked up an old Indian blanket.
Well, is your Uncle Phil comfortable under the old Indian blanket?
It's a little crowded. The old Indian is still in there.
The Ild Indian, huh? That fixes that up. The Ild Indian. A new tribe has been developed. The Ild Indian.
You know, I beg your pardon, Fred. I hate to interrupt, but there's a friend of mine in the wings who's very anxious to meet you.
Friend in the wings? Some angel in disguise? Well, bring him in, a friend in the wings. Bring him in, Beams. Any friend of yours, I'm sure, is a stranger to me.
His name is...
Who is this party?
Loris Melchior.
Uh-huh.
Come on out, Loris.
Gad, Mr. Melchior, this is a pleasure. You know, I always enjoy meeting people who are still in my former profession.
Fred, don't tell me you were singing?
Singer? Why, I was the common Lombardo of my time, Mr. Melchior.
Where did you sing?
Well, I sang my first solo in a church choir.
What happened?
200 people changed their religion. After a short talk with the minister, I gave up choir work and went into opera. For 2 solid seasons, we played The Barber of Seville. Then, bang, Lawrence, the electric razor came in and The Barber of Seville was through. But enough about little old E-flat me, Mr. Melchior. What about you? You've been in opera many years, I know.
Yes. When I first went into opera, Madame Butterfly was only a caterpillar.
You must have known Boris before he was good enough.
Oh, Fred, I'm not here to tell jokes. I came to talk to you.
To talk to me? Well, of course, Mr. Melchior. What's on your mind?
I have a problem.
You, Lawrence Melchior, the Metropolitan's greatest tenor, you have a problem?
Yes. I want to quit opera and go into radio.
Oh, Lawrence, you're kidding. What's wrong with opera?
Long hair and short dough.
Long hair and short dough, eh?
In radio they pay singers big money.
What singers?
Yesterday, I read that some young boy in the radio is making $30,000 a week.
$30,000 a week?
$30,000 a week. And what does he sing? Won't you tell me when?
Now, look. Look, Mr. Melchior.
Oh, Fred, make me another Sinatra.
You, the great Melchior, want a croon?
Yes.
Oh, the maestro is jetting.
The maestro's hungry.
But, Mr. Melchior, your opera audience is top hats, white tie, and tails. You want to sing for sweatshirts and bobby socks?
$30,000 for...
Now, look, wait, Mr. Melchior, think of those phonograph records you make, those beautiful big 12-inch records. You want to give those up to be on the other side of Spike Jones and his City Slickers? Think, Mr. Melchior.
$30,000, and all these things is war you...
No, well, look, no, please. But who will take your place starring at the Metropolitan? Jessel is in Hollywood. Take a baritone's advice, Mr. Melchior. You stick to opera.
I'll try that Sinatra of the hit parade.
But you're not the Sinatra type. You've got to be thin.
Think I'm too robust?
Robust? Why, your tonsils weigh more than Sinatra. Why, when he's on the air, you can't tell whether Sinatra is singing into the microphone or the microphone is giving Sinatra a transfusion. Forget the whole thing.
Oh, please, Fred. Get me on the radio.
But you can't compare radio to opera. Opening night at the Met. Think, the curtain rises. Your glorious voice casts a magic spell over the audience. Men and women throw their hats and mink into the air and cheer. Bravo, Melchior! Beast, Melchior! Bravo, bravo, beast, beast!
Yes, that's true, but $30,000. Won't you tell me when?
Lawrence, look, I think I can make you see the folly of your way. Will you do me a favor?
Yes?
Sing me an aria. I just want to prove something to you. You sing me one of those adenoid rattlers of yours. Would you sing a song for me?
Yes, I will.
All right.
What about this one here?
I'll
what I mean. That's your racket. You see, that's what you like to do. That's what you do best. You should stick to that type of music.
I know, but $30,000. Won't you tell me when we will meet again?
All right. You want to get into radio? I'll show you, Mr. Melchior. If the wrong sponsor signs you, you're apt to end up on a radio show that sounds something like this. We're on the air.
The makers of Pasternak pretzels present Life Can Be Melchior. Life Can Be Melchior is brought to you every hour on the hour, every day, 168 times a week, by the makers of Pasternak's Personality Pretzels.
Today, while every other pretzel is made by machine, untouched by human hands, only Pasternak pretzels are made by hand. Pasternak himself takes a handful of wet dough and steps into a red-hot oven. A few twists, a few turns. When Pasternak is lifted out of that red-hot oven, in his hand he holds a pretzel. No deceit, no trickery. No other pretzel can make this claim. With men who know pretzels best, it's Pasternak, 7 3/8 to 2.
And now, Life Can Be Melchior.
Life Can Be Melchior. The story of one man's struggle to be a failure. Little Larry Melchior was born in a motel in Ohio. Today, on that very site, there stands a Burma shave sign. The world knew that a great singer had been born when the tiny baby's first words were, Figaro, 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 Figaro. Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. At school, his genius was immediately recognized. The teacher gave little Larry a pitch pipe, a metronome, and a picture of Rudy Valley to inspire him. After graduation, he forged ahead with his music. Day after day, hour after hour, little Larry Melchior practiced. 4 years at Curtis Institute of Music, Melchior sang. 8 years at the Juilliard School of Music, Melchior carried on. And then came the crucial test. His audition for the Metropolitan Opera Company. Melchior sang. He had forgotten the words. But this did not stop Lawrence Melchior. Oh, no. Back to 10 more years of... And then Lawrence Melchior finally reached his goals. He became a star at the Metropolitan. His golden voice sang... And now he was ready for his crowning achievement, starring on his own radio program. And here is the star of the Pasternak Pretzel program, Lawrence Melchior, bringing you the music he has spent a lifetime to achieve. Maestro, please.
Rosy splendor was breaking above from dewy bog and red of love.
Pasternak pretzels are the best. Pasternak stands in laboratory tests. All guaranteed, none is faulty. Pasternak pretzels are super salty. Pasternak pretzels are
This is Jimmy Wallington, who will be at the same old stand next week, ready to escort you through the gates of your Radio Hall of Fame. Radio Hall of Fame is produced by Tom McKnight. This is the Blue Network.
KERA-FM Dallas, North Texas' only listener-supported radio station. If this is your kind of station, become a member of KERA-FM. Memberships start at $15 a year. Give us a call anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area at 263-KERA and join up. That's 263-KERA.